Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Rounds Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. We are giving you opening day for the NPB, as it is going to be the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. This game is going to be played at the brand new stadium at Escon Field in Hokkaido. We are going to give you the starting lineups and all the action here tonight. So hopefully you guys, whether you listen live or on delay, will enjoy it with us. We will be back all weekend long with all the calls from the NPB. So first of all, we're going to give you the starting lineup from the visitors from Tohoku. Leading off and playing in center field is number 8, Ryosuke Tatsumi. Batting second in left field, wearing number 0, is Hiroto Kobakata. Batting third and doing the designated hitting is number 23, Mikhail Franco. Batting fourth and playing second base is number 3, Hideo Asamura. And the 5 spot and playing in right field is number 35, Hiroki Shimouchi. Batting sixth at first base is number 4, Toshiki Abe. Batting seventh and playing shortstop is number 34, Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. Hitting eighth at third base is number 39, Yukiya Ito. And batting ninth and doing the catching is number 55, Yuma Yasuda. They're going to be facing the left-hander, Takayuki Kato, takes to the hill for the Fighters here tonight. Of course, in the very first game ever to be played in this brand new, fabulous-looking stadium. So that is the lineup for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Now for the home team, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Leading off and playing in left field is number 7, Go Matsumoto. He was the batting champion for the Pacific League last year. Hitting second and playing shortstop is number 4, Daigo Kamikawa Kabata. Hitting third and playing second base is number 38, Kazunori Ishii. In the cleanup spot and playing third base is number 5, Yuki Nomura. Batting in the 5 spot and playing first base is number 21, Kotaro Kiyomiya. Batting sixth and doing the designated hitting is number 2, Ariel Martinez. Batting seventh and in right field is number 66, Chusei Manami. Batting eighth and doing the catching is number 30, Shingo Usami. Batting ninth in center field is number 50, Ryota Isobata. They are going to be facing the Japanese legend himself, number 18, Masahiro Tanaka, who takes to the hill for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles this evening. And so that is your starting lineup for both the Hokkaido Nippon Fighters and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. They're throwing out the ceremonial first pitch, and we're about ready to get this one underway. In just a couple moments, everybody, we appreciate you for stopping in here tonight. Whether you listen live or on delay, it is NPB Baseball, and we're here to cover it for you. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the Tohoku Rakuten Eagles, Golden Eagles, who are coming to bat here in just a couple moments as all the ceremonies are done and completed. We'll get you all the action here in just a couple moments after this. Appreciate you for listening in, whether you're live or on delay. Welcome back, everybody. We are underway as the first pitch of the ball game was a breaking ball taken for a called strike by Ryosuke Tatsumi. And the second pitch is on the way, and it is a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is now 0-2. That first pitch breaking ball was quickly discarded, and off it will go to the Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame for exhibit, as that is the first pitch ever thrown in this ballpark. And there's a fastball that misses down in it, and the count is now 1-2. It is an absolutely beautiful facility they have constructed. And I'm excited to see a little bit more. I understand that the roof does open up, as here's the 1-2 pitch. That's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side, and that keeps the count at 1-2. I'm not going to get a chance to see this facility this year. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get up into the Sapporo region. I won't be able to see either of these two teams at home, much I'd like to see both of their stadiums because the Tohoku Stadium looks like it's pretty intriguing. So 1-2 strikes. It is to the left-handed hitting Tatsumi, who takes a breaking ball down, and the count runs even now to 2-2. So 2-2 strikes. It's Tatsumi, Kobakata, and Franco here in the top of the first inning for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. And the lefty was on the hill tonight for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Kato kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on and fouled off over on the third base side. The count is 2-2 still. Well, we are going to start giving our predictions every day on the games that are going to be played. And our prediction for this one is we've got the Fighters for the win. And I don't know how this always plays out on games that they have ceremonies beforehand, because it does throw the timing of the pitchers off. Here's the 2-2 pitch. As the lefty kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that just misses outside. It's going to run the count to 3-2 on Tatsumi. So we're going to try to get those updates live every single day. So if you want to jump in and take a peek, it'll give you some information. We're not going to do spreads or over-unders, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike. And it is Tatsumi who stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 1 here in the first inning. So 1 up and 1 away. That is going to bring up the left fielder tonight, Hiroto Kobakata. Interesting that Kobakata is getting the start in left field. He was primarily their shortstop last year, but they are giving the nod to Tsuyoshi Yamazaki tonight. So Kobakata steps up to the plate, hitting from the left side, and the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Defensively tonight for the Fighters, from left to right field. In the outfield, it's Go Matsumoto is in left. The center fielder is Isobata, and in right field, it is Manami. As there's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count is now 0-2 to Kobakata. Around the horn from first to third, it is Kiyomiya at first. The second baseman is Ishii. At shortstop, it's Kamikawa Kabata. And the third baseman for the Fighters is Nomura, as there's a foul swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. Not an empty seat in the house tonight. It is absolutely full. And that is good to see, as we saw a couple of the exhibition games later in the spring training that were between the Fighters and the Buffaloes that were sparsely attended. As there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. Coming in hard and making the catch on the run is Matsumoto, and that's going to retire Kobakata for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that is going to leave it all up to the designated hitter tonight, Mikael Franco. Conspicuous by their absence in the lineup tonight, no Chris Gittins tonight for the Golden Eagles. Also, no Nishikawa. I would have thought that Nishikawa might have gotten the start, as he had played the majority of his career with the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters, and he was in his first year last year with the Golden Eagles. As here's the first pitch delivered to Mikael Franco. It's a breaking ball that floats in at 95 kilometers an hour. That's about 62 miles. This is upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. There's the offering from the lefty, and there's a more firmer breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. Mikael Franco making his first appearance in the Japanese league, as the lefty kicks and delivers. It is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-2. His NPB debut tonight. Most of his major league career was spent with the Philadelphia Phillies. As we have folks that are in here, Caleb Atkins is in the house. We welcome you. Hang on for a second, Caleb. We'll answer your questions as we can get to it, as a breaking ball misses down, and the count is 2-2. wanting to know if he is in the United States where you can watch it. Here's the 2-2 pitch. There's the breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into shallow right field, and racing back on it is the second baseman, Ishii. It's going to drop in over his head for a base hit, and that is going to go in the record books as the first hit at Escon Field, as everything tonight is going to be a series of firsts. So Franco has the first hit with 2 out here in the top of the first inning. That is going to bring up the second baseman, Hideto Asamura. Well, for Asamura, he steps to the plate. Everything just seemed to be pushed down one spot in the batting order from last year, as Tatsumi had let off quite a bit, and as Kobakata had batted second. But now that Franco is there in the 3 spot, Asamura and Shimochi dropped down a spot in the order. And that is who is up here is the second baseman, Asamura. He is the captain of the Golden Eagles. He bats from the right side. He is waggling the bat, waiting on the first offering from the lefty Kato, who misses upstairs with a fastball, and the count is 1-0. So the questions that people come in and ask, and they say, how are you watching this, or where are you watching this? Well, first of all, I'm not in the United States, so that is a bit of a challenge, as here comes the 1-0 pitch. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-0. So if you want to watch in the States, DAZN used to have a package, but I understand that they no longer are carrying a package, and I can't recall the new spots. So I'll give you a couple places where you guys can maybe go look it up. There's a fastball swung, and this ball is hit into left field, moving over to his left and making the catch is Matsumoto. And that is going to do it here in the top of the first inning. Well, there were no runs. There was 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're through a half inning. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles no score, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters coming to bat. We'll be right back here in just a couple moments, everybody, and I will give you some more information on how to be able to research some of that stuff if you are in the US of A. Be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the first inning. It is going to be the top of the order coming up for Hokkaido, and that means it's going to be Go Matsumoto, Daigo Kamikawa Kabata, and Kazunori Ishii, the top 3 hitters in the batting order. And they are going to be facing the legend Masahiro Tanaka, the former New York Yankee right-hander, is come back to pitch for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. He did not have what I would call a great year last year by his standards, as he did struggle as the Friday starter for the Golden Eagles. But he is getting the nod here tonight in Hokkaido. There is a Reddit page, an NPB Reddit page, and if you go and you search through that, NPB Reddit, they will give you a list of different things, and the different pieces that will be as links where you can get it. ABC out of Hawaii used to carry games a couple of years ago. Here comes the first pitch from Tanaka. It's a fastball that misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Matsumoto. Matsumoto was the batting champion last year for not just for the Fighters, but in the Pacific League. He had run away with it, and his only major competition was the former Oryx Buffalo, as there is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1, and that would be Masataka Yoshida, who signed a $90 million contract with the Boston Red Sox this offseason. As the right-hander rocks into the motion, and he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on and is lifted foul down the right field line. Giving chase is the first baseman, and that is Abby. He's going to watch it sail into the seats. A little different configuration to the field. As the one thing that is of interest is it's supposed to be a certain distance from home plate or the point of the plate to the backstop. And if I remember correctly, off the top of my head, I have to do a little research. It's about 60 feet minimum. Well, they messed it up. They messed it up in Hokkaido when they built the stadium. It's actually a little bit shorter than the professional distance, so they had to get some extra little piece to this. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and tap foul right at home plate, and the count remains at 1-2. Our friend Jack says, why does the NPB make it it's so impossible for Americans to watch? Well, it's not just the Americans. It's also going to be the Europeans, I understand now, too. So the Pacific League, if you're in Europe and you happen to be wanting to listen in, that's going to be difficult for you to catch up on any of the games. On top of it, the Central League, as the fastball misses outside to run the count now to got the 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Matsumoto. The Central League has its own, every team has its own independent way in which they provide feeds, and that's really annoying. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. It is taken by the catcher Yasudi, throws to first, but the home plate umpire already went up with the right hand to retire Matsumoto for out number 1 here in the first inning, and that will bring up the shortstop, Daigo Kamikawa Kabata. Our friend Sean Scott says he's supporting the Carp from the UK. Well, I appreciate you, Sean, for popping in. And Caleb and Jack and Breathe Deep. Our friend Breathe Deep always wants to know over or under the 5.5. This time of the year, I always think that the needle points towards the pitchers as there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So I would have a tendency to want to think that it would be the under. On top of that, as there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, the count is now 0-2 to Kamikawa Kabata. On top of that, it is what I would call an offensively starved Hokkaido ball club. They're a young club. They played much better in the second half last year of the season, but they are still a number of players away from having an impact, at least to contend for a playoff spot. And there's a split figure pitch swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. Count remains at 0-2. I always think about the 3 pitchers that have left Hokkaido over the last 12, 13 years, being Yu Darvish, Shohei Ohtani, and Kohei Arihara. If they would have had all 3 of those pitchers stick around, the Fighters would probably be perched atop the Pacific League standings. There's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count goes to 1-2 to Kamikawa Kabata. Our friend Caleb says, unfortunately, it's weird how they're so private in Japan. It doesn't normally feel like that. It's difficult even just to get highlights. If you have Instagram and there's a fastball swung on, it stops slowly over to second. Ball took a funny hop, and it is fielded by Asamura to his glove side. He throws to first, and that retires Kamikawa Kabata on a ground out. 4-3 for the second out of the inning, so 2 away. It's going to leave it all up to the second baseman Kazunori Ishii. Instagram, for a lot of these teams, you can get some decent highlights. And not only on top of getting the decent highlights from Instagram, you can also pick it up in other places. A couple programming notes. We will be back on the airwaves for the next 3 nights, as we will do the entire series between the Oryx Buffaloes and the Saitama Cebu Lions. As the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside to Ishii, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. As the right-hander goes back to work, and it is a split finger pitch swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side. The count is 1-1. How many of the NPB games will we do this year? Well, we're estimating that are probably going to try to do somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 to 125 games. But there is going to be a time I'm going to be in Japan for much of August and into September, as there is a split figure pitch that misses down, and the count is now 2-1. We won't be doing any live games, but we will be giving the live reports. Our friend Jack wants to know, how's the crowd tonight? The stadium is absolutely packed. There's a few empty seats right behind home plate, but I think some of the dignitaries will fill those as there's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into center field. Drifting back on it is the center fielder Tatsumi. He's going to make the catch, and Ishii is retired for the third out of the inning. And the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters go in order in their half of the first. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through one complete inning in Hokkaido. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles no score and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action after this. How about some Japanese cheerleaders? Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat for Tohoku here in the second inning. That means Hiroki Shimochi, Toshiki Abe, and Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. And we've got our friend Mick 3Y official in the house tonight. We welcome Mick. And we also have others as well, Caleb Atkins and the living room and Jack Campo, everybody who has made it in here tonight. We appreciate you guys for being here. As Jack had asked earlier, the crowd here, it's a pretty impressive stadium. It's 3 levels, and every seat here is full tonight. So Hiroki Shimochi steps in, the left-handed hitter facing the lefty Kato, and he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Shimochi. Shimochi is, to me, he's a very professional hitter. I say this all the time, and there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. He was looking for an extension in the offseason, and by the word on the street, the Eagles did not extend him. And on top of that, not only did they not extend him, they have kind of hinted that they may not bring him back next year. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. Fielded neatly by Ishii. He throws to first. That's going to be a ground out 4-3. And he has gone for out number 1 as Shimochi. If that's the case, that is disappointing because it takes a veteran presence and bat out of their lineup. But obviously they've got something else in mind or the direction they want to go. But I think that in some ways this is a big year for the Golden Eagles. It's kind of a move or get out of the way year as this is ready to go. Our friend Mick says, is this the regular season? This is the season opener. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left field. Moving back on it is Matsumoto. He's going to have to play it off the wall. Rounding first and heading into second with a stand-up double is Abe. He's got himself a 1-out extra base hit, as that is going to be the second hit of the ball game for Tohoku, the first extra base hit of this one. And so they got a runner in scoring position with 1 gone. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. It is opening day tonight in the NPB, that is for sure. This is the first time in 70-plus years that the entire league is not opening up on the same time on the same day. This is the first time, I believe it was the Hanshin Tigers had opened up against their opponent a day earlier at the Koshin Stadium. But this here is where it is at. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the third base line, and the count is quickly balls and 1 strike to Yamazaki. Yamazaki getting the nod to play the shortstop position. Very interesting configuration of the field. It almost looks like a diamond within a diamond within a diamond. As the right field line, it is, you run out of real estate quickly if you're the first baseman heading back, and the distance between foul territory and the right and left field lines is very short. Fans are right up on top of the play as a fastball is delivered and missed inside to Yamazaki, and it's now 1-1. But the one thing that I find is, and I don't know if this is the case, I would be curious once I get to this stadium eventually over the next couple of years, is will this stadium be something that is, I guess, how can I put it? Going to be, how light is it? It looks rather dark on the inside, as there's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul past the bag at space. That runs the count to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. It'll be Yukiya Ito who waits his turn on deck. So Yamazaki hitting here with the runner at second and 1 gone. As Kato works to the set position, he checks the runner at second. And now he kicks and fires. It is a fastball that misses, and the count is now 2-2. Andy says right now he and his wife are hanging in Osaka for 6 weeks with some Buffaloes and Tiger games in our near future. Andy, welcome to the channel. We're glad you could make it in here tonight to listen in. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Yamazaki as Kato works to the set position and now delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into left center field. Moving over underneath it with plenty of room is the center fielder, and that is Isobata, who makes the catch, and that's going to retire Yamazaki for the second out of the inning. So 2 away. The runner did tag at second, but he did not advance. That was Abby, and that's going to bring up Yukiya Ito. Our friend Andy says that we appreciate you jumping in here. You'll be at the new stadium with the Fighters on May the 13th versus Chiba. Looking forward to that as well. I'll be in Japan from about the middle of August until about the 8th or 7th or 8th, 9th of September. Can't remember that. So how is the trip going, Andy? Or is it more for work, or is it pleasure, or is it both? And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Ito. Ito bats from the right side against the left-handed throwing Kato. As Kato gets his sign from his catcher as he works set, he checks the runner at second. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. We've got Ed in the house here. Ed says, not sure if I'm allowed to post the link here. He's watching the game from Korea. Yeah, well, Ed, we probably don't posting links in here. That would be a bit of a problem. But we did talk a little earlier about how some of the folks can try to find it. NPB Reddit is the best way, as there's a fastball that takes a called strike. And if you go through and do just a little bit of search there, you'll see a list of links where you can catch up on some providers who will be giving the game for those to be able to watch. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ito, with the runner at second is Abby with 2 gone here. As the lefty gets his sign, the first bit of trouble the Fighters have found themselves in here tonight. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball that is swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Ito on strikes. He is gone for out number 3. And that will do it here in the second inning. There was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. No errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 1.5. It is the Fighters no score. The Eagles no score. We'll be back in just a couple moments, everybody, with the bottom of the second inning. And after this, from our friend Matt Hollis, for those of you who don't know.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the heart of the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighter batting order to come to bat here in the bottom of the second inning, and that means Yuki Nomura, Kotaro Kiyomiya, and Ariel Martinez. It's going to be my first look at Ariel Martinez. I'm a little bit excited. Actually, I shouldn't say my first look. I did see him in the World Baseball Classic for Cuba, but it is going to be a steady diet of him this year. He had played with the Chinichi Dragons last year, last couple of seasons, and he was noted as one of the first import players to catch in the NPB in a number of years. It was almost like 20 years, as the Japanese are really strong at producing catchers. That is one spot that they are pretty good at. And here comes the first offering from Masahiro Tanaka. It's a breaking ball swung on it. Is pop foul over on the first base side, and the count is 0-1. So I'm curious to see how he will perform. Jack Campo said the piece there about it's all NPB pitching is always good in the early season and hard to score runs. Here's the 0-1 from Tanaka. It's swung on and fouled off over on the third base line. The count is 0-2. You're absolutely correct. It is a bit of a problem in the early season going. Runs will be at a premium. And as I mentioned before, the Fighters last year were an offensively starved ball club for much of the season. As here comes the 0-2 pitch. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is 1-2 to Nomura. So the needle does point to the pitchers early on in the season as opposed to the offensive players. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. And there is a fastball swung on it. It is tapped softly just past the bag at third base, and that's going to keep the count at 1-2 to Nomura. The other part that's of interest is how the pitching is different than Major League Baseball. The Japanese league is really a fastball breaking ball league, whereas the pitchers generally don't throw a lot of changeups. It is split finger fastballs, and then your breaking stuff. As there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Whereas in North America, a lot of people throw either the circle change or the pitchfork change. As here's the 2-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on it is pop foul over on the first base side. Racing over is the first baseman Abbey, but he's going to watch it sail into the seats. It's going to keep the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nomura. So just the style is a little bit different. When you listen to the media, they say that the pitching, or at least is slightly a bit different, but they do have some power arms that are now coming out of their bullpen. They're very similar to that in North America. You've got a number of guys who come out throwing 95 to 100, and it's not just the import players. As time has been called, and the batter Nomura steps out. We'll do this all over again. 21 pitches so far delivered by Masahiro Tanaka in this one, as the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball waved at and missed. And Nomura is gone on strikes for the first out of the inning, the second strikeout by Tanaka tonight. Jack says the analysis on pitch types is pretty good. Well, yeah, and the other part is that at least that I remember from watching last couple of years, is that when you watch the pitchers, just some of the command of their stuff isn't as good. In certain cases, the walk rates are up a little bit higher for some pitchers than that in the North American game. As here comes the first offering to the pitcher, or to the hitter Kiyomiya, and it's a fastball that misses for ball 1. The count is 1-0. I think of the size of the pitchers as well. Some of the general size of the Japanese player, just in general, are not as big as the North Americans. Anybody that's considered to be under 6'2" in the big leagues would be considered to be almost a small righty. And anybody that's below that, obviously, is where they have concerns. Well, in the Japanese league, there's all kinds of guys that are 6'2" and below. And there's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to first. Abbey fields it. He steps on the bag ahead of the base runner, Kiyomiya. And he is going to be retired for out number 2. It's a ground out to 3 if you're keeping score along with us. 2 up and 2 away, and that brings up the designated hitter, Ariel Martinez. So Jack Campo asked the question, is there shift rules and pitch clock in the NPB, and thoughts of that for the MLB? There are no shift rules in place in the NPB. We did see a little bit of shifting last year, and in fact, I saw a little bit more in the Central League than I did in the Pacific League with games that we would watch. And here comes the first offering from Tanaka. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away down the right field line. For the most part, the shifting, they do move around, but it's not the exaggerated stuff that you see in the North American game. So no balls and one strike. It is to Martinez, who hits from the right side against the right-handed throwing Tanaka. Rocks into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count goes even at 1-1. As far as the pitch clock is concerned, there's no pitch clock in Japanese baseball, so that makes the game a lot of fun. It's like watching it in its purest sense. I have to see some games with the pitch clock this year as a fastball is taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. Seen some of the spring training games and the shenanigans that have gone on. You'd like to think that they would have maybe played a couple of years with it in the minor leagues before implementing it. But that is Major League Baseball and their decisions. Especially it disrupts the hitters and the pitchers, especially when you've had these guys playing for, who knows, since they were 6-7 years old. They've been playing, in some cases, almost 30 years. As the split finger pitch misses down, and the count's 2-2 to Martinez. One thing that is noticeable is the majority of the fans are still wearing their masks. In Japan, there's still a society indoors that will wear masks, but not everybody. We see a little bit, few people that are there. And there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to first base. It is fielded by Abbey, and he's going to make the play. He's been a busy man here tonight so far, as he's been involved in 3 of the 6 outs. And that is going to do it here to end the bottom of the second inning. Well, we had no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Your score after 2 complete, 0-0. Tohoku coming to bat. It'll be 9-1-2 in the batting order when we return. Hang tight, everybody. We appreciate you for dropping in here tonight. Be right back with another of our Hall of Fame memories. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the third inning. It is going to be Yuma Yasuda, and then the top of the order in Ryosuke Tatsumi and Hiroto Kobakata to come to bat. 2 hits in the ball game, and both have come off the bats of the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. They have not been able to capitalize on either of them. Miguel Franco had the very first hit in the new Escon Stadium, and the other one was off the bat of Toshiki Abe, who hit a double in his first at bat. The pitcher, Takayuki Kato, has delivered 33 pitches in his first 2 innings of work. And he is ready to get back at it here against the left-handed hitting Tatsumi, who kicks and he delivers as Kato, and it's a fastball that misses outside for ball 1. And the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Left-handed hitting, Yasuda at the plate, and there is a breaking ball swung on and is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats. It's going to run the count to 1-1. It's Tatsumi who is on deck, followed by Kobakata. So I'm curious to see how I'm going to hold up tonight, because this is the first of the late night games. We're going to do another one in the middle of the night, North American time, tomorrow. And then we get a reprieve as the Lions and the Buffaloes will be playing elsewhere. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field. Drifting over to his left is Manami, and he's going to make the catch. That is going to retire Yasuda for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that is going to bring up Ryosuke Tatsumi. I can say I wasn't exactly in midseason form when we were doing some of the other stuff. Friend Andy says, I'm fascinated by this broadcast. Pretty good production values, excellent broadcasting, good insights, all for 13, 14 people tuning in. Yeah, well, that's the way it goes sometimes. You go get 13 or 14, and then you get the other folks that are on the delay. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Our friend Andy says all that stuff. Well, we appreciate you for being here. There's a fastball that takes a called strike. The count is 1-1. Japanese baseball is fun to watch. You know, I have to say sometimes the talent level in Major League Baseball, I almost want to say the players are too good. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-1. Especially with the Dominicans and the Venezuelans and the Puerto Ricans, everybody that comes into the league. As here comes the 2-1 pitch, and there's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul down the left field line. That's going to drift into the seats. We got to keep our attention here because of the configuration of the field. Not used to some of these sight lines. Runs the count to 2-2. In the NBA, I often say the players are too good, or they're more automatic than watching the college game, and so sometimes the college NBA game is a lot more exciting to watch because there's far more unknowns in those games. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field, drifting back in front of the warning track, and making the catch is Matsumoto, and that is going to retire Tatsumi for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that'll leave it up to the left fielder, Hiroto Kobakata. Our friend Caleb says college basketball is 10 times better. I mean, if you're watching the NCAA tournament, who would have thought that Florida Atlantic would be in your Final Four? Certainly, probably not many people in North America. So Kobakata steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to left his first time up, and he takes a fastball outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Friend Andy says about the broadcast, as the pitch is delivered, it's a fastball that is taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. And we started doing this a few years ago, 2010, just pre-pandemic. I got back from Japan. We were doing some stuff, and as there was a fastball swung on and fouled away. And I've never done anything on YouTube, even though we had a channel since 2010. Never did anything creation-wise or any of that type of stuff. And so we just started playing around with it. And of course, once the pandemic hit, we had a whole lot of time on our hands to play around and learn some stuff. As here comes the 1-2 pitch. And Kanos delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to second. It is fielded awkwardly by Ishii as he throws while he's moving into the outfield. He's able to retire Kobakata, but boy, he made a easier play look a lot harder than what it was. So that's going to go down as a ground out 4-3 for the third out of the inning. If you're a Fighters fan, you were probably biting your nails on that one. Well, there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board here in the third inning. We are now through 2.5 at Escon Field in Hokkaido. It is a 0-0 ball game. We'll be right back here in just a couple moments. We appreciate you for bouncing in and listening with us tonight. Hang tight. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to take a little time out and introduce you to our friend Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check him out after the ball game.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports, Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name. And I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Appreciate you, Steve, and your support of our channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. If you want to look at something that's eclectic, crazy, and off the wall, he would be your guy. It is going to be Chusei Manami, Shingo Usami, and Ryota Isobata to come to bat here in the third inning. It is number 7, 8, and 9 here to face the right-hander Masahiro Tanaka, who has cruised along in his first 2 innings of work. Manami, a right-handed hitter, stands in. He's got a slightly open stance as he waits on the offering here from the righty Tanaka, and he swings through a breaking ball, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. As we have Manami here digging in. And I don't know what the over-under was. Our friend Breathe Deep was in here earlier, and he wanted to know on the under of 5.5, but I wonder what it is for the first 5 innings. As there is a split-finger pitch swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. The count now is 0-2 as Tanaka is way ahead. Back to the talk in the last half inning, we were talking about when we started the channel and started playing with it. The one thing I haven't picked up yet, and I wanted to spend some time in the offseason, I do have a green screen, so at some point in time, we're going to be doing some other stuff in front of that. Just haven't reconfigured the area to do it in. And there's a fastball that misses up and away for a ball, and the count is 1-0. And the other thing that is on deck will be an audio mixer. Get to play with that a little bit. Hopefully make it a little bit more entertaining along the way for everybody here to listen in. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As Tanaka kicks and delivers, and it is a split-finger pitch missing down. And the count now goes to 2-2. But the production here sometimes is still at amateur level, and so are our infomercials in between innings. We like to keep it a little hokey that way, and we got a few more coming up in the next couple of weeks that we will unveil as we move along. And here's the pitch. It is a split-finger pitch swung on and missed. And Manami is retired on strikes for the first out of the inning. That's the 3rd strikeout of the ball game. So that will be 1 up and 1 away, and it brings up the catcher, Shingo Usami. Our friend Jack says Tanaka needs to get his pitch count up. I think early in the season, I would say that a player like Tanaka, he will probably be off to a better start, but I would think as the long haul goes along, at his age, that's where he'll start to stumble a little bit, but he always seems to have 1 rough inning, and he obviously has been cruising here as the first pitch is a fastball delivered to Usami, taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Usami batting for the first time tonight, 2 for 19 in spring training. As the right-hander Tanaka rocks and delivers, it is a fastball swung on. It is lifted down the left field line. Moving over is the left fielder, but he's going to watch that one land off the wall. As I said, it's a different configuration, so the wall is quite large, even in foul territory there. It just sliced right into the wall as the left fielder, Kobakata, is going to pick it up. A bit of a weird bounce. Angles are a little bit strange. So that runs the count to 0-2 to Usami. Our friend Jack says, how about the Keith Hernandez voice changer? That'd be kind of funny. Be able to do some of that. Well, we'll have to see what we can do. So no balls and 2 strikes. There was a piece that you can actually change it where you can make this almost sound like an old school AM FM radio. I don't know if a lot of people would be attracted to that or if I would scare people away. As here's the 0-2 pitch, and it is a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is 1-2 to Usami. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Friend Andy says that he's going to be up next 3 nights for Oryx and the Saitama Cebu Lions. I'm interested to see Oryx myself. Obviously, they lost Masataka Yoshida, big bat in their lineup, and there's the 1-2 pitch. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count's 2-2 to Usami. But they traded for Tomoya Mori, the catcher, who they got from Cebu, and then they added Frank Schwindel of the Cubs and Marwin Gonzalez to their lineup, and so even though they lost Yoshida, they might have got better. Those 3 bats in their lineup. And there's a split finger pitch that's tapped foul behind home plate, and the count remains at 2-2. Nobody on base right now as there's 1 gone here in the 3rd inning. It is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Usami. As the right-hander Tanaka rocks slowly into the motion, and he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to short, fielded by Yamazaki. Double clutches, but he fires to first, and that is going to be in time to retire the not-so-fleet-of-foot catcher Usami. That's going to be 2 away here in the 3rd inning. It's going to leave it all up to the center fielder, Ryota Isubara. This game has a very eerie feeling, or an eerie start for the Fighters offensively, as they were last year. Not quite the powerhouse. And of course, in the offseason, they dealt Kazuki Kondo to the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Their best hitter dealt to the Hawks. So still no hits and no base runners for the Fighters, as the right-hander Tanaka rocks and delivers. He throws a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. Well, the part that will be interesting will be the bullpens, and that's something that you have to keep an eye on in the NPB. How the bullpens are used, when the pitchers are used, how they're used. Are they overused? Because the fastball swung on it is popped up behind home plate, and this ball is going to drift into the seats. That's going to run the count even at 1-1 to Isobata. So I don't know what the Fighters bullpen is going to look like this year. I know that the Eagles a couple of years ago, it was, I would say, almost automatic with Chihao Song and Raku and Yuki Matsui at the back end, but they weren't as locked down in the league last year. And there's a split finger pitch swung on. It is tapped slowly over to first, fielded by Abbey. He takes it and steps on the bag, and that is going to do it. It's going to go down as a ground out to 3. There's another ground out solo put out by Abbey here tonight. 3 of the 9 outs have gone right to him. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 3 complete. We're skipping along pretty quickly here. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, no score. The Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters, no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action after this. Here's another one of our Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame memories. Our friend Andy is over in Japan. It is worth the trip to the egg to go and have a look. Welcome back, everybody. After the third inning, it looks like they're giving the ground or the infield a little bit of a groom here. Our friend Andy says he's not a fan of dome stadiums. I'm not a huge fan of it either, although I have to say, I think from what I understand, that this is a retractable roof stadium, so I'll be curious to see how that will work. I know the PayPay Dome in Fukuoka is retractable, and as we've done a pile of games, only once have I ever seen the roof open in Fukuoka. Now, again, we don't call every game of every series, but I'm curious to see how that will play out. So the lefty Kato ready to go back at it. He's going to face Mikael Franco, Hideo Asamura, and Hiroki Shimochi, a tough part of the Tohoku batting order. There's a soft breaking ball that floats up to the plate at 98 kilometers an hour, or for that matter, about 60 miles an hour, and it missed for a ball. Now a fastball is delivered, and that misses upstairs 2, and the count is 2-0. Curious to see how Mikael Franco plays out here. I think that this could be a league that would suit his style of play. As the 2-0 pitch is on the way, and it is a fastball belted down the left field line, and it's fair. The third base umpire says so. Franco rounding first, heading for second. The ball squirts away from Matsumoto. He picks it up and throws it back in. Franco makes a big turn at second, but he's going to get himself a leadoff double here in the fourth inning. And the Eagles are the only ones showing any signs of anything offensively. And this might be something to get them going. So it'll be a Franco at second and Hideo Asamura stepping to the plate. One would have to think that in Japanese baseball, we see a lot of bunting, but I would not be taking the bat out of Asamura's hands. He should be able to stay inside the ball and go the other way. This looks like there's some action up in the Eagles bullpen, or at least stretching out. I wonder how long Masahiro Tanaka is going to be good for. He's been sailing right along. I don't know where he's at with his pitch counts. I'm not sure where they're going to take him to, but interesting that they have some action that is starting to stretch out. We'll get that for you if we get that in a minute. There's a fastball swung on, grounded over to the shortstop, Kamikawa Kabata, and Asamura's going to ground out. That's a poor piece of hitting by the veteran second baseman, unable to advance the runner over to third. If he was playing in Boston, he'd hear it from the home crowd. So that is going to be one out here as it leaves Franco still in scoring position at second base, but it'll bring up the right fielder, Hiroki Shimochi. Well, for Shimochi tonight, we've got, he's 0 for 1 as he grounded out to second his first time up. Our friend Andy says on our previous 2 long stays in 17 and 19, he's been to games in Fukuoka, Yokohama, Hiroshima, Sendai, the Meiji Jinju. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. This year, I should hit 10 of the 12 stadiums. The only ones I won't hit will be the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. It'll be left up to that, but I'm going to give some live reports, and I've got some interesting things that'll be planned, and there'll probably be a lot of editing involved in that as well. There's a fastball that's going to miss upstairs to Shimochi, and the count is 1-1. We welcome Louis Mayo to the stream, and he's wanting to know where this game can be watched. And we went through that a little earlier. We were saying about at NPB Reddit, there's a list of links that can give you some guidance if you want to do the Google search and head on over there. As the 1-1 pitch is ready to be offered here, and it is a fastball that is swung on and lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Shimochi. Andy says he saw 3 in Fukuoka, and the dome was never open. So not open there. Yeah, it's strange. It was one night, and I never thought of it because the dome is always closed when we're watching the games. The next thing you know, one night, there it is. The dome was wide open. Nice clear sky, everything else. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This is grounded over to the right side. It is fielded by the first baseman, Kiyomiya, who flips it to the pitcher covering. That's going to be what they needed in the last at bat. That's going to go down as a ground out 3-1 for the second out of the inning. It's going to advance Mikael Franco over to third, and that's going to leave it all up to the first baseman, Toshiki Abe. Well, for Abe, he is 1 for 1 tonight. He had a double his first time up, but he was stranded at second base. He's got 1 of the 3 hits tonight, as Mikael Franco's got the other 2. Our friend Andy says tomorrow I'll be at the Koshin for the semifinals of the Spring Koshin. And that's the high school tournament, or one of the tournaments that goes on. Of course, the Tigers lose their stadium for 3 weeks in the summer because of that tournament. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. In some ways, that is where legends are born. If you get a chance to go to the Japanese Hall of Fame, they have a whole section on the high school baseball stuff. It is absolutely massive in Japan. 1 ball and no strikes to Abe. It is a cultural phenomenon. There's the pitch. It is a fastball, check swing, grounded to short. Kamikawa Kabata fields it. He throws to first, and that is going to do it. That's going to go down as a ground out 6-3. So if there's a point in the game that they might lament not having a run, it would have been the poor execution by Asamura getting that runner over, because they would have scored with Shimochi grounding out most likely. So that is going to do it here in the 4th inning. There were no runs in the inning. There was a hit, the leadoff double by Franco, but he was stranded at third. No errors, and the 1 runner left the board. We are now moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. Your score, it's Tohoku no score and Hokkaido no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments after this. Appreciate you guys for jumping in with us tonight. Here is another one of our friends of the channel. As you know, this is Steve Rademacher. Check him out when you get the chance.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs, from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher after the game. Be sure to go check him out. Our friend Hugo wants to ask a question, and I'm not sure what the question would be, but fire away there, Hugo, if you want to fire it and let her rip. We've got the top of the order coming up here in the fourth inning. It's going to be Go Matsumoto, then it's going to be Daigo Kamikawa Kabata and Kazunori Ishii to face the right-hander Masahiro Tanaka. We'll have to get our stuff up to speed here. Is one thing that we don't have is some of the extended lineups with the new stuff. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble. And this one is going to hook just foul to the left of the foul pole. That ball looked like it was a fly ball that just sort of floated up there, and it started to hook, and it just went to the left of the foul ball, but it's a long strike to Matsumoto. There's no balls and one strike. So no balls and one strike. Our friend Jack says his heart just broke, as that might have been the first run of the ball game, and so Matsumoto is back in the batter's box, ready to face the right-hander Tanaka again. It's no balls and one strike. And here's the offering from Tanaka. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-2. The home plate umpire went up very quickly with the right hand. Didn't quite see that one. So no balls and two strikes it is. Matsumoto here probably going to get a steady diet of split-finger pitches. That's the bread and butter of Tanaka as he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the first base line. That keeps the count at no balls and two strikes. Only 43 pitches so far in the first three innings from Tanaka. Our friend BII says he's got us synced up with the video. It's perfect. Well, we appreciate you. Thanks for doing that there. Hopefully we don't get knocked off. We had some spring training hiccups. As here's the 0-2 pitch. It's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Matsumoto. Matsumoto, Kamikawa Kabata, and Ishii here to face Tanaka in the fourth inning. Our friend the living room says that's how you do it, and that's exactly what it is. A lot of people, if they are fortunate enough to get a feed, they get rid of the Japanese play-by-play and sync it to us. There's a fastball that just misses outside, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kamikawa Kabata and Ishii, as we said, to follow here in the fourth. The crowd is cheering here tonight. As we said, the people that are wearing their masks are about 50-50. There's a split finger pitch that is slapped foul. It's going to reach the seats. It's going to keep the count at 2-2. Curious to know, and I don't know what Andy's feeling is and what he's seeing. If Andy is watching this or still listening in. Our friend Mick says he can't wait for opening day in a few hours' time. That's absolutely for sure. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. Moving back in front of the warning track, he's got plenty of room as Shimochi is going to make the catch. That is going to retire Go Matsumoto for the first out of the inning. One up and one away. I was hoping maybe to try to squeeze in an MLB game on the flip side today, but we sometimes do that on the channel. But realistically, I don't think it's going to happen until next week. We sometimes get the MLB stuff for the day games. Don't do any of the nighttime stuff. Our friend Caleb says he's going to the Rays-Tigers game. Well, I am cheering for the team they're going to be playing against being the Rays. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Growing up not too far from Old Tiger Stadium was a lot of fun back in the day. As here comes the 0-1 offering from Tanaka, who kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down and in. The count is 1-1. And so the Detroit Tigers, they can't hit. This is the problem with that ball club this year. They can't hit. I don't know if they field very well either, and their pitching might be okay. So here comes the offering. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Kamikawa Kabata. Caleb says he lives in St. Pete, but he's a Tigers fan. And there's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. That's going to run the count to 2-2. Going to Old Michigan in Trumbull for many, many years. Watching the Tigers play their home games at Tiger Stadium was a lot of fun. But I don't live in the area anymore, and so now it's more Seattle Mariners stuff than anything else. There's a fastball swung on. It is lined right back to the pitcher, Masahiro Tanaka. He reaches out with the glove and makes the stab. That is going to retire Kamikawa Kabata on a line out to a 1. He's gone for out number 2, and that's going to bring up Ishii to the plate. And we got our friend Chris the Hobbyist in here this morning. We welcome you to the channel. Andy says he's not actually watching the game. He's listening to, which is good. As that is something going on with the Airbnb with their cable. So here comes the offering from Tanaka as he rocks into the motion and delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Not sure about Andy, but I picked up about 1,000 US or 1,000 Canadian dollars worth of yen back in November when it was literally 101 yen for every dollar. It is way more favorable right now than where it was before, as there's a fastball that misses down and the count is 1-1. The hobbyist said, did the Golden Eagles change their name? Nope. They're still the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-2. They're just not as golden as we think they are. They're struggling right now, or at least in the last year or so. I just have a feeling as we put on our prediction page, I don't think the Golden Eagles will make the playoffs this year. Just for some reason why, I think they've got to shake up a little bit of that bullpen, a little bit of that starting pitching. Here's the 1-2 pitch. There's a split finger pitch swung on. It's tapped back to Tanaka. He fields it. He fires to first. That's going to retire Ishii on a ground out 1-3. And that will do it here. It has been 12 up and 12 down for the Fighters so far tonight. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are through 4 complete innings in Hokkaido. Your score is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 0 and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. We appreciate you guys listening in here. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 7, 8, 9 hitters to come to bat for Tohoku here in the top of the 5th inning, and that means it's going to be Shoshi Yamazaki, Yukiya Ito, and Yuma Yasuda. Our friend Andy was pointing out, he says, living on the cheap right now in Japan. Great time for North Americans to come and visit. I was taking a look at hotel rooms. I stayed in a place outside of Osaka a couple of years ago called Tsukamoto. And in Tsukamoto, it was kind of interesting as the first pitch is on its way here to Yamazaki, and it's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. I stayed at a Best Western, and I was pumping my fist because taxes all in, it was like 62 Canadian a night at a Best Western. And here comes the offering. It is a fastball that just misses upstairs. The count is 1-1. And when you go down the I-5 to Seattle, you're lucky if you can get anything for about $100 US at a very similar type of hotel. Well, I was looking at Osaka hotel prices back in November, and there's a fastball that swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-2. And you could have got a Best Western in November last year for August of 2023 for 34 Canadian a night, taxes all in. That's a pretty crazy price when you think about it. And the hotel is fairly decent because I went by there last time I was there. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted down the left field line. Moving over and having room is Matsumoto. He's going to make the catch. Not a lot of foul territory there down into the corners, but there was enough there to be able to make the grab to retire Yamazaki for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up Yukiya Ito. So 1 gone, and Ito steps to the plate. He has struck out his only time to the dish. We call most of our games are in the Pacific League, but we do some Central League games from time to time. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep left field. Moving back, looking up, and watching it go into the bullpen, and that is the first run, a home run by Ito. That ball was missiled out of here in a hurry, and that is going to give the scoreline 1-0 and a lead here for the Golden Eagles in the top half of the 5th inning. It was only a matter of time as they were the only ones getting hits tonight. A solo shot by Ito has made the score 1-0. I'm surprised we're not getting a rush of the gamblers in here tonight wanting to know what's going on. But that is the first run of the ball game on the board here in the 5th inning. Right on cue. There's always some magic in the 5th innings, it seems, in Japanese baseball. So 1 out home run, and that brings up Yuma Yasuda to the plate. And the first offering to Yasuda is a breaking ball that misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Yasuda is 0 for 1. He lined out to the right fielder for the first out of the 3rd inning. And here comes the offering from Kato, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 2-0. What I find interesting is going to be that apparently, I think the NFL has made an announcement that they're going to allow that you can bet on site at NFL games. And the booking or the betting houses will be open, similar to that of British soccer. I think I read that correctly. And there's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded through the 4-hole into right field. And that's going to be a base hit for Yasuda. So back-to-back hits by the Golden Eagles. They are flapping their wings, and that's going to bring the top of the order in Ryosuke Tatsumi to the plate. Hobbyist asks, are we doing any MLB games today? And unfortunately, Chris, I'm not. The one I really wanted to do is the Yankees and the Giants. That's going to be Logan Webb against Garrett Cole. And unfortunately, that's going to be it for the living room tonight as he's tapping out, going to bed. It's going to be a long season, and we appreciate it. We'll see you back for tomorrow. We'll be back in a late night again tomorrow night, and of course on the rest of the weekend. As Kato throws over to first base and diving back in time as the base runner. So the left-hander that's on the mound here, Kato, one of the things I find interesting, I actually heard something at practice the other night. So I've got a former big leaguer who's up here doing some work with me. And we're running our practice, and we're talking about to the young kids about how left-handers, what to read when they throw over to first base. It reminds me in that situation as a fastball misses outside, and the count is 1-0. Anyways, Eric was explaining to the kids that he stole 49 bases in Double-A, and one of the things that he had learned was from Gary Pettis, who's currently the third base coach with the Houston Astros. And what they look for is they look for the the pitching shoulder, the left shoulder of the pitcher. If the left shoulder goes backwards, then you can anticipate that he's going to throw over to first base. If you see his chest is flat when he goes up to deliver, then the ball is going to go to home plate. Normally, what I teach the kids is you look for the ball past the face. So once you see the ball past the face, they can only go in one direction. That's the home plate. But if you're looking for the shoulder, it's almost foolproof because you can see when he throws over and when he doesn't. There's a fastball that swung on and lifted foul into the seats. So that's going to run the count to a ball and a strike to Tatsumi. And so he said once he locked in on that, he never got picked off or never guessed again with the pitchers on the hill. He had a plan and he was able to run at will on lefties as much as he could as on righties. So interesting piece there in terms of strategy. But he said the hardest one to run on was Bruce Hurst, the former Boston Red Sox. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's a breaking ball that misses down. The count is 2-1 because Hurst figured out that if he was able to, he had a bit of a balk move, and his balk move had to do with the shoulders. He was able to keep them sort of locked, and he was able not to move it, and he had this delivery that he could throw to first base, but they said his was probably the best move of his time in that era. Here's the 2-1 pitch as he flips over to first base, and getting back in time is the base runner Yasuda. So one gone here in the fifth inning. There's one run on the board on the home run by Ito. It is a runner at first is Yasuda. There is a 2-ball and 1 strike count to Tatsumi. Our friend the hobbyist says, yeah, it's hard for left-handers to throw to first. So here's the 2-1 pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. And the count is now 2-2. It's even harder for the runners to be able to establish their leads. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tatsumi. It is a interesting light configuration because, as we said, it is a retractable roof, and the lights just seem like they're on one half of the stadium in one direction, one half of the other. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded up the middle. It's over to the shortstop for 1. You flip it to second, over to first, and that is going to be a double play ball. Tatsumi is going to go grounded into the 6-4-3 variety, and that is going to get the Fighters out of the inning. So there was a run in the inning on the home run by Ito. There were 2 hits. There was no errors and nobody left the board. We're now through 4.5 innings. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 1, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters, no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action after this.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the heart of the Fighters batting order to come to bat to face Masahiro Tanaka. That means Yuki Nomura, Kataro Kiyomiya, and Ariel Martinez, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters in the batting order. It has been 12 up and 12 down for the Fighters here tonight in their new stadium. But it has been the home run by Ito that has the Golden Eagles out in front. Our friend the hobbyist says our weather down here is still in the south. Well, no, we've got great weather up here. We're 60 degrees Fahrenheit with sunshine all this week, Chris. And it's been fantastic. Can't ask for any better than this. As we are ready to resume the action, as Tanaka is ready to face the right-handed hitting Nomura. 59 pitches through the first 4 innings for Masahiro. as he rocks into the motion and delivers a first pitch fastball. It's taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Very favorable call by the home plate umpire, as it looks like he is giving Tanaka the corners here tonight. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. The count is now 0-2. Nomura struck out his first time up against Tanaka. He finds himself in the hole 0-2 here. As the right-hander rocks into the windup and kicks and delivers, it's a split finger pitch and misses down, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nomura, Kiyomiya, and Martinez. So far tonight for Tanaka, he has struck out 3 batters in this one. As the right-hander Nomura waggles the bat, waiting on the offering from the righty Tanaka, who rocks into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. This is lifted down the right field line. And that one is going to, I guess, get into the seats. We absolutely have no angle down that right field line. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it remains. Unless, of course, they pan it to the third base dugout cam. Nothing there you can see from behind home plate. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that is swung on, and it's lifted foul behind home plate. The count remains at 1-2. So some of the sight lines from the cameras will be interesting. I think that probably the production people might want to have a look at that when the ball is hit down the right field line. Anything from behind home plate, you're not going to see if it's going to land fair or foul or not. The way their cameras are set up, but have to give you maybe the dugout type of view. There's the split finger pitch that misses down, and the count's now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend the hobbyist is on his way to work, and we appreciate you for stopping in today, Chris. Look forward to catching you maybe tomorrow before you head in as well. Thanks for supporting the channel. There's a split finger pitch swung on. It is grounded over to second. Asamura fields it in the hole. He throws off a one leg, and he's able to retire Nomura on a ground out 4-3 for the first out of the inning. That was a difficult play, as Asamura had the range to his left into the 4-hole. The ball was cued off the end of the bat by Nomura, so it had a weird spin to it as well. And Asamura had to throw it on the run, and he was able to retire the third baseman for the Fighters for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up the first baseman, Kotaro Kiyomiya. Kiyomiya is 0-for-1 tonight. He's grounded to first his first time up, but he swings at the first pitch he sees and fouls that off behind home plate, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Kiyomiya. Kiyomiya bats from the left side against the right-handed throwing Tanaka. He digs in, gets himself set. And here comes the right-hander as he rocks into the motion. Now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep right field. Moving back on it is Shimauchi, and this ball is going to be off the wall. It is going to be fielded by the center fielder Tatsumi, and that's going to be the first hit of the ball game for the Fighters. And that is the first sign of danger that Tanaka has been in tonight, as the runner is immediately in scoring position at second base. They had to play that ball off the wall. Interesting wall configuration. Shimauchi was chasing it, and the ball ended up kicking off more towards center field. See that one again. It was a good swing by Kiyomiya. He stayed inside the ball and drove it to the pole gap. That ball almost went out of the yard. It probably missed a home run by about 1.5 feet. It was up the wall. Just didn't quite have enough. Got to hit the gym there, Kiyomiya, for a few more curls. He'll be good to go. Well, that brings Ariel Martinez to the plate, the designated hitter. He is 0-for-1 tonight. He grounded to first his first time up. He bats from the right side here against the right-hander Tanaka. He checks the runner at second. Checks him again. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a split finger pitch and misses down, and the count is 1-0. Friend Caleb says he needs another hit. Yeah, that ball was right up the ladder there. And as we said, the angles that you get sometimes, they're a little bit dicey as well, especially here because they're not used to seeing how they're going to give it to you. It's not the Sapporo Dome anymore. There's a fastball that swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side, and the count is 1-1. I didn't get any updates on what they're going to do with that dome, if they're going to keep it, if they're going to implode it, knock it down, or what the plans for that would be. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Ariel Martinez. I think there was a note that it was about 20 some odd years ago that the Kingdom was imploded. That happened last week. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's a fastball that comes inside and hits Martinez. And he's going to be at first base there. That's going to put runners at first and second. That's going to bring up Chusei Manami to the plate. Well, Manami has the ability to put one in the seats. Friend Andy says it's time for dinner. Well, hopefully you have a good dinner there, Andy. We appreciate you for popping in to listening in. And if you don't make it back in time, you can always listen to the replay. So we've got Manami stepping to the plate here with runners at first and second and 1 gone. It'll be Kiyomiya at second and Martinez, the runner, at first. And once, of course, we get through this half inning, we like to call it the Japanese halftime, as they have an extended break between the 5th and the 6th innings. At least in the Pacific League, they do. So Manami steps to the plate, and Tanaka is working from the set position. He checks the runner at second. That's Kiyomiya, and he delivers a first pitch fastball that swung on and missed. The count is 0-1 to Manami. Well, if Manami has the ability to run into a ball, he can put a ball into the seats. Friend Caleb says, let's get something going. Well, the table is set for the Fighters here. As we said, this is the first bit of trouble Tanaka has found himself in here tonight, as he retired the first 13 batters of the ball game. There is a fastball swung on and missed. The count is now 0-2 to Manami. Well, in this case of Manami, I would attack him very similar. He has struggled with breaking balls and with the split finger pitch. So if I want to get him out here in this situation, I think I'm giving him that steady diet of either one of those. So no balls and 2 strikes. He's got to figure something out. That's the young right-handed hitter. As Tanaka works from the stretch, he checks the runner, Kiyomiya, back at second. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a split finger pitch, waved at and missed. And Manami was made to be an easy out there, as he's retired on 3 straight pitches. He's gone for out number 2, and that's going to leave it all up to the catcher, Shingo Usami. Well, Usami steps to the plate. He is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to the shortstop his first time up. He bats here with 2 outs and runners at first and second. Kiyomiya, the runner, at second. Martinez, the runner, at first. Masahiro Tanaka leans in, and he gets his sign from the catcher, Yasuda, as he works set to the belt. He checks that runner at second. Now he kicks and fires. It's a split finger pitch that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. As we mentioned, in between innings here, we'll take an extended break ourselves, because it is a extended break that the Pacific League does. They'll come out and clean the field, and umpires will get their drinks or whatever they need to keep on trucking. So here comes the 1-0 pitch as Tanaka checks the runner. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch, waved at and missed. The count goes even to 1-1. Well, it was 59 pitches through the first 4 innings for Tanaka, and now he's thrown almost 20 pitches in this inning. He has 17 under the belt, and here comes number 18 to Usami, as the runners establisher leads here with 2 gone. In the bottom of the 5th inning. And here's the pitch from Tanaka. It's a split finger pitch that misses down. A good stop by the catcher, Yasuda. That blocked the ball and keep it in front. Runs the count to 2-1 now to Usami. For everybody who has jumped in here tonight, we do appreciate everybody for checking us out. And as we said, the reminder is tomorrow we'll be back on at 2 a.m. Pacific, 5 a.m. Eastern if you're in North America, for the game between the Buffaloes and the Lions. We'll do that whole series. It'll be their opening day. And hopefully you can make it in with us as well. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Asami as he's waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Tanaka. As Tanaka checks the runner at second, and now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. It's popped behind home plate. Racing back, and it looks like he's going to have the room is Usami, and that is going to do it. He is going to be out number 3, or sorry, Usami's going to make the catch. He's going to retire. Yasuda's going to make the catch. It's going to retire Usami. And that is going to be his opposite number, who is gone for out number 3 here in the 5th inning. Well, there was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors and 2 runners left the board. We're now through 5 complete. Your score is Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 1 and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters no score. Our friend King Rex says, who's going to win? Well, if you go look at our community page, we gave you our predictions earlier. It'll tell you all you need to know who we think is going to win, and we still have our thoughts on the fighters here tonight. We'll be back in just a few minutes, everybody. It is an extended break in between innings, so we're glad you guys could be here with us. We'll be right back after this from our friend Matt again.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the halftime in what we like to call the Pacific League, as the score is 1-0 for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. They are going to the 6th here shortly, as it will be coming to bat for Tohoku, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in their batting order. Just a quick recap on this one, as this is the only game and the only action that's going on in the NPB tonight. The one run of the ball game is a Yukiya Ito home run that came in the top of the 5th inning. The fighters, or the Eagles here tonight, have 5 hits. 2 of them belong to Mikhail Franco. The others are Toshiki Abe with 1. Ito and Yasuda are the others. The only hit of the ball game for Hokkaido so far has been Kataro Kiyomiya, had a double in the last inning. Of course, Ariel Martinez was hit by a pitch. So we are just going to be back in just a couple moments. As we said before, it is one of those things. Our friend Shrambini has stopped into the house, and we appreciate you for popping in tonight. We'll be back here in just a couple moments after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top half of the sixth inning as we're ready to resume the action, as Hiroto Kobakata is waiting on the first offering from Kato that misses upstairs for ball one, and the count is 1-0. Kobakata tonight is 0 for 2. He is lined to left and grounded to second as the lefty kicks and delivers, and it is an attempted bunt, and the ball was popped foul. It's going to reach the stands just near the first base dugout. That runs the count even to 1-1 to Kobakata. Kobakata, as we said, getting the nod in left field tonight as Yamazaki gets the start at shortstop. So interesting to see how they're going to be doing as the lefty now works and he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Kobakata working from a pseudo stretch position. He does a double clutch and delivers. There's a fastball that misses up and almost hits Kobakata. Runs the count to 3-1. Kobakata has pretty good bat control. He really is able to put balls in play. He does bunt. He sacrifices. He's got good bat to ball skills. He just doesn't have a whole lot of juice in the stick. There's the 3-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball that catches the inside corner for a called strike. Runs the count to 3-2. That would probably be more of a home call there than anything else. I'm not sure if that pitch had enough break to catch the corner. So here's the 3-2 from Kato. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow right center field. Coming in hard is Manami, and he's not going to be able to get it, the right fielder. And that ball is going to be able to drop in for a base hit. That is going to be a single for Kobakata, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter, Mikael Franco. Our friend King Rex says, I saw your prediction of having the Fighters. How are we looking to still cover the W? Well, it's going to be interesting depending on how the bullpen comes around. I know that we mentioned last year that the bullpen of the Eagles really struggled down the stretch. And I'd be curious to see if they've got that sorted out. So that to me is just as interesting as anybody else. How are they going to use their pen, and where are they going to put their guys in situations? Obviously, Tanaka has given them a great start to this point. Here comes the first offering to Mikael Franco. It's a fastball that misses outside for ball one, and the count is 1-0. Franco tonight is 2 for 2. He's got a single and a double here. So once you get into the bullpens, that becomes the question. I don't know how the big boss is going to use his bullpen for the Fighters. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep left field and moving back and looking up, and this one is gone. Matsumoto's going to watch that one sail into the upper deck. It is a 2-run homer for Tohoku, and they have a 3-0 lead here in the first inning. A 2-run shot by Mikael Franco. Welcome to the NPB, Mikael. That's his 3rd hit of the ball game, and he has put the Eagles up in front here by 3 in the 6th inning. And that is going to be a starved offense for the Fighters. Our friend Caleb says he's going to sleep. Have a great night, Caleb, as that is probably turned the lights out for our friend Caleb here, that 2-run shot. As we said, the Fighters offense has shown very little signs of life tonight. They probably can't wait for Masahiro Tanaka to get out of this ball game. That might be their best chance to get to the bullpen of the Eagles. Well, 3-0 the scoreline now. That brings Hideto Asamura to the plate. Asamura is 0 for 2 tonight. He has flown to left and grounded to short. Kato is still in the ball game. One of these games, it's a little bit hard to pick on these opening nights. And as we said, with all the pomp and circumstance around the game, in some ways I thought that might favor the opposition, as there's a breaking ball that misses down and the count is 1-0. And here comes the 1-0 offering as the lefty delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 1-1. Overall, as we gave before, as we do have action in the Fighters bullpen, they do have a right-hander up and throwing. And the pitch is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. Count now goes to 1-2 on Asamura. Picking these kind of games can be a little bit challenging when we have the setup. It's the same thing in North American sports, where if they have a ceremony before a hockey game or a basketball game, it throws the timing off. As the breaking ball misses to Asamura, the count is now 2-2. So the lefty Kato works again. He kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field. Moving over on it is Manami, but he's going to yield the way to the center fielder, Isobata, who makes the catch. And that is going to retire Asamura for the first out of the inning. One away, and that will bring up the right fielder, Hiroki Shimochi. Well, Shimochi steps to the plate. He is 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded to second and grounded to first. But the big blow off the bat of Mikhail Franco as the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. You could tell Kato knew as soon as he did that, that's where we were at. There is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Shimochi. Hustler's Paradise says, what's the run estimate? Well, I think 5.5 was the over-under in this one. Well, it's 3 now for the Golden Eagles. And there is a ball that's popped up over on the third base side. Racing over and making the catch is the catcher, Usami. He had to go a long way to get it. I wasn't sure if that ball was going to be caught or if it was going to drift into the seats. We're going to watch that one again. Nice play. As we said, the configuration of the field is a little bit different. So nice job there by the catcher to make the grab, and that is going to retire Shimochi for out number 2. That'll bring up Toshiki Abe. Well, for Abe tonight, he had the first extra base hit in this new ballpark. He is a 1 for 2 on the evening, a double and a ground out. The first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. As here comes the offering from the lefty. He delivers. It's a fastball swung on, and it is lifted foul down the right field line, and the count is now 0-2. Our friend Ben Roberts in the house. We appreciate you popping in here. Ben, I don't know if you're still in Yokohama or not, but maybe we'll get a chance to go see the Bay Stars when I'm in town in August, as I will be in Yokohama at some point. There's a fastball that is swung on and fouled away. And the count is 0-2. Maybe even get an opportunity. I hear there's a new right-hander in Yokohama. He's going to be pitching and hoping to catch up with him in August. Maybe do a little live stream. And so here comes the 0-2 offering as the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on it, is pop foul down the right field line. It's going to keep the count at 0-2. Yeah, going to be from about the middle of August until about September 8th or 9th. So yeah, we're going to be making our way back. So we'll be doing some live stuff and different things. We won't be calling any games at that point, but we will definitely be doing some streaming and some updates and different stuff from the channel. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded over to first, fielded neatly by the first baseman, and he's going to come over and step on the base, and that will do it here as Abe is retired. A ground out to 3 for out number 3, and that is going to do it. There was 2 runs in the inning on the 2-run homer by Mikhail Franco. There were 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. And your score is now 3-0, as that is where we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Our friend Drew jumps in and says, the new right-hander. He says, good one. Yeah, it is a new right-hander, a new old right-hander. But if you go look on our channel, because we don't have a ton of voice here, but you'll notice about 3 weeks ago, we put up a poll, or maybe 4 weeks ago before he signed, estimating where we thought he would go. And we knew he was going to Japan. We just didn't know where. But that's the way it is. But anyways, everybody, we'll be back in a couple minutes to do the bottom of the 6th inning. We appreciate you guys listening in. Cheerleaders are in their cat outfits, their fox outfits, making some fans happy in Hokkaido. We'll be right back after this.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head.
Never really know just what you want.
It is 3-0 for the Eagles, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment after this with all the action. Bottom of the sixth coming up. Welcome back, everybody. We are now in the sixth inning. It is the bottom of the sixth, so that means 9-1-2 to come to bat here to face Masahiro Tanaka. It'll be Ryota Isabata, then the top of the order, and Go Matsumoto and Daigo Kamikawa Kabata. The first pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Ben says he's back in the States now, but I get over a couple of times a year. And so hopefully it would be kind of interesting if you're over there at the same time, then catch up for a ball game. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-2. Friend Drew says that he appreciates the broadcast. And we thank you for being here. It's all about you guys too, because I enjoy giving you guys the sights and the sounds through my voice. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Isabata is retired on strikes. He is gone for out number 1. I'll bring up the top of the order and Go Matsumoto. Andy Altman asks the question. He says, any insight on why they play 9 innings in high school baseball in Japan as opposed to 7? That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that one. And it'd be a good question to find out. I can look into that for you, Andy. I never really gave 2 thoughts about it, so I don't have an answer for you. There's a first pitch fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left center field. This ball is going to get down. It's off the wall. It's going to be extra bases. Digging for 2 is Matsumoto, and he's going to stop at second with a double. A 1-out double for Go Matsumoto, and he picks up where he left off last year, as he is off and running now, opening his account for the 2023 season. Ben says, I'll be there August, September. I'll be in the middle of August till about the 8th, 9th, or 10th of September. I'm actually going to be making a journey to Seoul, South Korea for a day. I fly from Osaka to Seoul, and I've got a 24-hour layover in Osaka. In Seoul. So I'm kind of curious to see what that's all about. I've never been to Korea before. So hopefully, if you get a chance, or if you're over there, then maybe we'll connect. So the Fighters have the runner at second base. That's Matsumoto. And the batter at the plate is Kamikawa Kabata. There's a fastball that misses inside. The count is 1-0. Our friend Andy, you're in the stream at the right time, as Ben Roberts had resided was in Yokohama during the pandemic. And he has some pretty good insight into the Japanese baseball as he follows it, being over there and there frequently. So he might be able to answer that question for you on the 7 and 9 inning stuff. So here comes the 1-0 to Kamikawa Kabata. It's a split finger pitch swung on. It has popped up down the first base line. It's going to drift into the seats out of the reach of the first baseman, Abby, and that's going to run the count even at 1-1. Yeah, in fact, the part that Ben Roberts mentions about pitchers throwing close to 200 pitches in high school, there is a pitcher for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters who's in their bullpen. In fact, he was I think last half inning we ran the music to his picture, and that is Kosei Yoshida. And Yoshida is, I believe, in his 4th year with the Fighters now. And he is, I guess the way I would put it is he threw like something crazy, like 160, 180 pitches, in about 3 or 4 starts over the span of about 7 or 8 days in Japan. And of course, he was the number 1 overall pick of the draft, I believe, in 2019. As that last pitch missed down in the dirt, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Kamikawa Kabata. So here comes the 2-1 pitch as the right-hander works to the set position. And now he kicks and delivers, and it's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 3-1. Well, a few years ago, or pre-pandemic, there was a tournament in Vancouver, British Columbia. There was the 2 universities from Tokyo came to play in the tournament, as well as the University of British Columbia and Sacramento State. And so 4 teams came to play, and the manager for one of the Japanese teams, they asked him who was going to be his starting pitcher on Friday night, and it was his ace. And then they asked who the pitcher was going to be on Sunday, and he laughed and he said it was going to be the same guy. Like they had a roster of, I don't know, like 50 guys. And they were going to roll their ace out back-to-back days on one-day rest in a tournament that kind of meant nothing in the middle of August. There's a split finger that misses down to Kamikawa Kabata, and he walks. Now we got runners at first and second, and we have a conference on the mound. So runners at first and second with 1 gone. It's going to bring the second baseman Ishii to the plate. And now they have action in the bullpen for the Eagles as well. So both teams have pitchers now up and throwing in their pens. It is a left-hander for the Golden Eagles. We'll have to get you that in just a moment. We have to catch up on our player list a little bit here. Early in the season, and some of our notes were not as flush with them. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Ishii. Ishii tonight, 0 for 2. He has flown out to center, and he's grounded back to the pitcher. It is, as we said, a lefty up in the pen throwing, but I didn't catch the number on it. I thought it was number 18, but 18, of course, is on the hill, and that is Tanaka. And here comes the 0-1 pitch as he delivers a fastball that misses low, and the count is 1-1. One would have to think that this might be the end of the line for Tanaka tonight regardless. He's at 89 pitches. We're in the 6th inning. Could be bullpen time for the Golden Eagles, and that's where it will get exciting. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the right-hander checks the runner Matsumoto at second base as he works to the set position. He checks him again. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 2-1. Matsumoto does have wheels, as he can run a little bit. A couple other arms to keep an eye on. Manny Benuelos, the former Yankee and Pittsburgh Pirate, is in the bullpen for the Golden Eagles this year. As we mentioned before, you have other pitchers like Anraku and Sung and, of course, Matsui all at the back end. Curious to see how they're going to use their pen. There's a breaking ball that misses, and the count is now 3-1. Tanaka really wanted that pitch. Not sure where that location was. Tanaka doesn't look like he knows where it was either. The home plate umpire felt it was a ball, and that's the one who matters. So 3 balls and 1 strike. As Yuki Nomura is pacing on deck, ready to come to bat. So 3-1 here to Ishii, as he waggles the bat, waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Tanaka. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down. It's going to be ball 4, and that's going to be back-to-back walks issued by the veteran right-hander. Kamikawa Kabata advances to second. Matsumoto to third. The Fighters have the bases loaded with 1 out here in the 6th. That's going to bring up Yuki Nomura to the plate. The crowd in Hokkaido, a lot of people are on their feet right now. It's amazing. In the upper deck, people are on their feet cheering. The flags are being waved. We were asked before what the crowd is like. The crowd is full. Really only behind home plate is where there's some empty seats. I wonder if it's the dignitaries that are maybe underneath the stands having their sausages and or maybe it's their sushi. So that brings up to the plate Yuki Nomura with 1 gone here and the bases loaded. He's batting from the right side against the right-handed throwing Tanaka. As Tanaka kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that misses outside for ball one, and the count is 1-0. Well, better get that bullpen going because it looks like that Tanaka is starting to see the wheels come off a little bit here. So 1 ball and no strikes it is to Nomura. As the right-hander now kicks and delivers, it's a split finger pitch, waved at and missed. And that's going to run the count now to 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm trying to catch up a little bit on our back end of stuff here, and so we're a little bit behind in the chat. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Nomura as he's waiting here on the right-hander. And here's the pitch. It is a split finger pitch that the home plate umpire said that Nomura went around on, and the count goes to 1-2. My friend Ben asked the question if I saw any of Yoshida's starts. Actually, I didn't. I didn't catch a whole lot of spring training action from the Fighters this year. I saw, other than the Classic, it was a really busy time of the year, and trying to get those games in the Classic in as kind of a warm-up and a prelude. So here comes the 1-2 offering now to the right-handed hitting Nomura as Tanaka gets his sign. He kicks and he delivers. It is a split finger pitch and misses down. They appeal over to the first base umpire. They say he didn't go, and that runs the count even at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Glad to have everybody with us tonight. Of course, it's getting to be the early morning hours on the East Coast in North America. People are getting up and tuning us in a little bit. We've got a 3-0 ball game here in the bottom of the 6th, but the Fighters are threatening as they got the bases loaded and 1 out. It's a 2-2 count to Nomura. Masahiro Tanaka is on the mound, but he is in a whole host of trouble. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. As the right-hander holds set. And now he kicks and he delivers. It is a split finger pitch swung on and fouled away. Keeps the count at 2-2. Our friend Hustler's Paradise says, come on, man, just a sac fly at least. Yeah, whatever they can do to break the ice. The strikeout and a double play are the 2 worst things, and a pop-up in this situation. But if they can get themselves a deep fly ball, anything to get at least 1 run on the board. Base hit here would score 2, most likely. As the runner at second base is Kamikawa Kabata, and he can run a little bit. Here's the 2-2 pitch. As it's delivered, it's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep center field. Racing back, and he's got room as the center fielder Tatsumi. Tagging at third and heading home is Matsumoto. The throw comes back into second base. It is not going to be in time, but it's going to be a sacrifice fly. That's the first run of the ball game. It's going to cut the lead now to 3-1. So sac fly to center field retires Nomura. Matsumoto will come in to score. And that will bring up the first baseman Kataro Kiyomiya with 2 gone here and a run in for the Fighters. And with that being said, it's also going to bring in a pitching change, and that is going to be it for Masahiro Tanaka. The manager for the Golden Eagles has seen enough. He's come out to get his star right-hander. So this is where it's going to get entertaining, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments as we do have a pitching change coming up. It is a 3-1 ball game. We'll be right back after this. Three-1 Eagles. We're going to the bottom, or in the bottom of the 6th. They've got 2 on, do the Fighters with 2 out. Pitching change on the way. We'll be back in just a moment, and we'll get you the updates right after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play. But you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Suzuki coming in relief, the left-hander. That is Shota Suzuki. He is going to be taking over. This is his 4th season with the Golden Eagles. Last year, he worked in 38 ball games. He had 1 win and 3 losses. He worked 38 innings, allowing 25 hits. The alarming part is he walked 25 also in those 38 innings while striking out 35. And he had pitched himself to a ERA of 4.03. So he takes over here for Masahiro Tanaka with the runners at first and second and 2 gone. And it's Kentaro Kiyomiya striding to the plate to face the lefty here in the 6th inning. One thing I didn't take note of is how the pitcher had entered the ball game. If you're in Chiba, you always have the pitchers driven in by a Mercedes-Benz convertible. Some of the all ballparks, depending on where they're playing, they'll actually come in from the dugout because the bullpens are in behind the stadium or underneath the stadium, such as that with Fukuoka. But I'm not sure exactly how he enters the game. I know the bullpens are in left and in right field for both the home and visitors. As I said, it's a very impressive new stadium. Curious to see what that would be like. I'm not going to get there in the summertime, but most likely in 2024 at some point. So Kentaro Kiyomiya here at the plate. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a double in 2 trips. He bats from the left side against the left-hander Suzuki. Works to the set position. He kicks and delivers, and the first pitch is a fastball swung on. It's belted down the right field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, but it's going to hook foul. And that is going to be a long strike for Kiyomiya. Welcome to the ball game, Suzuki. As that ball was ripped foul, if he would have straightened that one out, we would have had ourselves a whole new ball game here. That ball was an absolute missile. Kiyomiya is going to, you can just see, he knows that he's just missed on that one. Just a little bit ahead on the pitch. So way ahead now, or ahead here is the lefty Suzuki at 0-1. And here comes the offering. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitching parade has begun for the Golden Eagles tonight, and as we said, this is where it could get interesting. The fighters had struggled most of the night against Masahiro Tanaka. The best thing that could happen for them was to get him out of the ball game and get into the bullpen. So here we go. Here comes the offering from Suzuki, who works to the set position. As he holds, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is pop foul down the left field line. It's going to reach the seats into the sort of the mid-level, and then it bounces its way down. So you got 1 ball and 2 strikes here. Ben Roberts was saying about how it's a very small fan base for the Oryx Buffaloes. As I mentioned, when we called a couple of the exhibition games between the Tigers and the Buffaloes, very, very, very small attendance. Kind of disappointed with that, actually. I know it's exhibition, but the crosstown, I don't want to call them rivals, but the crosstown teams couldn't put more fans in the Osaka Dome. A little disappointing for that one, especially the Buffaloes, who have such a quality team right now. There's a fastball that misses down. The count's 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Andy says he's from the Bay Area. Reminds him how the Giants dominate and the A's have a small fan base. The A's are probably not going to be there a whole lot longer. There's talk about them moving to Vegas. But of course, there was talk about them moving to San Jose and other places as well. And they certainly don't have a big crowd in their ballpark. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded softly over to second. Fielded by Asamura. He throws on the run, and it's going to retire Kiyomiya. And the Eagles are able to get out of the jam on a ground out 4-3 to end the inning. Well, there was a run in the inning. There was damage. There was one run on one hit. There was no errors and 2 runners left the board. We're now through 6 complete innings in Hokkaido. Your score is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 3 and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 1. We'll be back in just a couple moments, everybody. We appreciate you guys for listening in. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this. Well, the score line is 3-1 for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action. Appreciate everybody for popping in here tonight. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters to come to bat for Tohoku in their half of the 7th inning. That means Tsuyoshi Yamazaki, Yukiya Ito, and Yuma Yasuda. So 7, 8, and 9 to come to bat. And he said preseason NPB broadcasts. Yeah, well, it was a couple of weeks ago. I figured we got to do a little bit of warm-up here for the season to get ready. So we did a few of the exhibition games. Didn't have a ton of time to do stuff. As here's the first pitch. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Yamazaki. We did some of the games in the Classic as well. We had some huge numbers of views on those games. That was pretty fun, especially it was the Mexico game against Puerto Rico. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. It's been a lot of fun being able to give the call to folks here, and hopefully you guys come on back again tomorrow night or tomorrow morning, depending where you're at. There's a breaking ball that misses outside the Yamazaki, and the count is 1-2. The starter Kato in here in the 7th inning. 91 pitches now in the ball game. As here's the offering. It is a fastball swung on his lift softly into left field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. As Yamazaki is aboard with a single, and this is where it gets to be interesting. Will we start to see the Japanese small ball in full effect? Are they going to try to nickel and dime for a run? I say yes, they will. So it is going to be Yukiya Ito coming to the plate. He has homered in his 2 trips to the plate, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. He could be bunting this time around. So Ito steps to the dish. The fighters are flashing their defensive signs. See how they're going to play this one out. Yamazaki can run a little bit. So the big third baseman here waiting on the offering from the lefty, but they throw over to first base, and getting back safely is the runner Yamazaki. No sign of bunting there from Ito, as he is hitting here with nobody out, the runner at first. As he's waiting here on the offering from the lefty. Kato kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball. There goes the runner to second. The throw is down. It's in time, and Yamazaki has been gunned down. Caught stealing. He is retired 2-6. That is going to be out number 1. I didn't get the last pitch if it was a ball or a strike, but that is going to be the first out of the inning. We'll get the replay of this one. That was a ball outside. Good pitch to be able to throw. The throw was right on the money. You couldn't have asked for a better throw than that from the catcher Usami. He put that ball right on the second base side of the bag. It was caught by the shortstop, and the runner slid right into it. There's a breaking ball that's delivered to Ito. It's taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Pretty good throw by the catcher as the lefty delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Yukiya Ito is 26 years old. He'll be 27 later in the year. He came over in a trade last year from the Yokohama Dinabe Stars, as there's a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count is 2-2. He had 8 at-bats for the Golden Eagles down the stretch, and he had no hits. In his career, he has played 39 games in the NPB. He's only had 89 at-bats, but he's had 20 hits. Coming into the season, or at least into tonight, there's a fastball swung on and missed. Ito goes down on strikes as he is retired for the second out of the inning, and that will leave it all up to Yuma Yasuda. As we said, we'll be back on all of this again tomorrow. It'll be the Lions and the Buffaloes from the Osaka Dome. I do appreciate everybody, as we said, in here tonight, trying to catch up on some of the chat that I keep missing. So here's the first offering from the lefty Kato. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined down the right field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, but it's going to just be hooked foul. It's going to be no balls and 1 strike to the catcher, Yasuda. Yasuda tonight has a hit and 2 trips. He's got a single, and he's lined out to right field. He's hit the ball hard both times he's come to the plate. The left-handed hitting catcher facing the left-handed throwing Kato, who kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that just misses outside. The count goes even to 1-1. Friend Ben says the stadium does look great, a big-time upgrade over the Sapporo Dome. That is for sure. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it is lifted foul. That is going to run the count to 1-2. Yeah, it's the Oryx, Buffaloes, and the Lions who we're going to be doing tomorrow. We're going to do that entire series. I like to try to stay with a series. This is kind of an oddball game because obviously it's the first time in 70 years that the NPB has had a team open up before everybody else. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Count is 1-2. I talked about this in the stream a little bit last year, and that is in some ways I wish the NPB could take a page from maybe the North American playbook for baseball or even the European soccer playbook, and that is stagger some of the starts of their games, especially on the weekends. As here comes the 1-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into shallow center field, coming in hard on it, but he's got time to make the catch. Is going to be the center fielder Isobata, and that is going to do it here for the Golden Eagles in their half of the 7th inning. Well, there was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There were no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 6.5. Your score is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 3, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the calls right after this.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Appreciate you, Steve, and your support of our channel. Be sure to check out the wild and crazy Steve Rademacher after the game. He has got all kinds of interesting stuff, and some of it is even G-rated. So we appreciate him and his support of the channel. It is going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters to come to bat for the Fighters in their half of the 7th inning. Looks like by all accounts that might be the end of the line for the starter Cato, as he's getting the chat with the pitching coach at the end of the dugout. And that normally is the sign that your day is done, as the other players are kind of coming over to congratulate him. There is a right-hander up in the Fighters bullpen. We are going to see if there is a change for Tohoku, and there looks like there is. They've got a right-hander in the ball game. This is going to be number 43. This is Chihao Sung in on relief. Well, for Sung, he didn't have as good a year, I don't think, last year as he did in 2021. 2021, he really did well. Yeah, he was 3-3, even has saved 7 games for the Golden Eagles. Last year, his ERA was up a little bit, so we'll see how he does. He is originally from Taiwan, and so he went to the National Sports University, but he is slated to face Martinez, Manami, and Usami here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So pitcher number 3 used here by the Golden Eagles. So Martinez drives to the plate, and we're ready to resume the action. He gets himself dug in here. Sung gets the baseball that he wants, and we're ready to go back to work. 0 for 1 tonight for Martinez. He was hit by a pitch his last time up, and he swings at the first fastball he sees and pops it up over on the first base side. This ball is going to get drifted into the seats, and that's going to run the count quickly to 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike it is. So no balls and 1 strike, and Martinez is going to have to go and get himself a new piece of lumber as he broke that last bat. He gets the magic spray, their version of the pine tar, and he's going to come on back to the plate. Martinez, as we mentioned before, he was with the Chinichi Dragons, and he was one of the first import catchers a couple of years ago to play that position in about 20 plus years. In the NPB, there's not a lot of what I would call import catchers. That's a position the Japanese excel at producing. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Martinez bats from the right side. Unknown is in here. He says, where can I watch the live games, anyone? There's a pitch that misses down, and the count is 2-1. Well, it depends on where you're at, Unknown. If you're in the United States or North America, it varies place to place. We gave out earlier, we said if you go to the NPB Reddit page, they have a listing of spots. I know DAZN used to carry it in the United States up until a couple of years ago, but there is another feed that is going on. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left field for a base hit, and Martinez has got himself a leadoff single here to start the 7th inning. So they are aboard, and that is going to bring up the right fielder, Chusei Manami. We'll keep our eye on Martinez to see if he stays in the ballgame or not, if they're going to have a runner for him. He's not exactly the most fleetest of foot. But Martinez is here, the runner at first for now. He really isn't the important run. The important run is the batter at the plate, because that would be the tying run. That is the 3rd hit of the ball game for the Fighters. It's the first single. Everything else has been doubles. Manami steps up to the plate. He is 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out both of his times at the plate. And the first pitch to him is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. As we said on the daily, we're going to do our predictions. Some of the days we'll give you a little bit more information. Some days we won't give you as much. We'll see when the next starting pitchers are announced, and then we'll post it up about, I'd say, about 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 o'clock on the East Coast. So in time before the game, and we'll give you our thoughts. Some of the days I'll have a little bit of time to do some more insight. Right now, it's kind of hard to see how the games are going to start, to see where there's patterns, I think. As there's a fastball swung through and missed, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Manami here in the hole again. Manami, his first time up, he was in the hole 0-2. Last time he went down on 3 pitches. That's exactly where they stand now. So Song looks in. He gets his sign from his catcher, Yasuda, and he works to the set position. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. And Manami is gone for the 3rd out of the inning. The 3rd time tonight he has struck out. The best word I could use to describe his at-bats are overmatched. He's been overmatched by the pitching of the Fighters. Well, that's going to bring up the 8-hole hitter. That's Shingo Usami stepping to the plate. He's had a solid game calling the pitches. Right now, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded to the shortstop and popped to the catcher. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to third. A diving play by the third baseman, who gets up and he throws to second. That was a really, really good play by the third baseman. That is Ito, who had to dive to his left. He threw from his knees to be able to get Martinez. Well, that's why I wondered if they were going to run for Martinez. If I had anybody running but Martinez, the runner probably would have been safe at second. A great play by Ito. But Martinez is gone, as he's not the most fleet of foot. That's going to go down as a fielder's choice. 5-4 to erase Martinez, and that's going to leave it all up to the center fielder, Ryota Isobata. Well, Isobata tonight is officially 0 for 2. He's grounded to first, and he has struck out in his 2 trips to the plate. As he is waiting on the offering from Song. And the first pitch is swung on and fouled away down the left field line, and the count is 0-1 to Isobata. So no balls and 1 strike. More action in the Fighters bullpen, as they have a couple of right-handers up and throwing. And here comes the offering from Song. It's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is now 0-2, so big time in the hole is Isobata. Yeah, that's the site I was thinking of, FTF Sports on Roku. What is that called, Drew? Is that fan to fan, I think they refer to it as? I saw the announcements, but I haven't been able to see that. There's a fastball. It's taken for a called 3rd strike. And Isobata stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 3. And that's going to do it here in the 7th inning for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Well, there was no runs in the inning. There was 1 hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now moving to the top of the 8th inning. Your score is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 3, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 1. Stick around, everybody. We're appreciating you here, and our friend Undrafted Player has made an appearance. We'll be back in just a couple moments after this. There is going to be a pitching change. We'll get that for you when we return.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change, and looks like originally I thought it was going to be a right-hander, and we have to get this one here taken care of. At least I thought it was going to be number 51, but it looks like it's going to be number 57, Nobumoto Kitamiya. So Kitamiya on in relief. He's going to be the second pitcher used. The number 57 and 51 look very, very similar. He's going to get the top of the order in Ryosuke Tatsumi, and the first pitch is a fastball that is blown by Tatsumi for strike number one, and the count is quickly 0-1. Tatsumi 0 for 3 tonight. He's grounded into a double play, struck out looking, and flown out to left field as the breaking ball misses outside, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The right-hander rocks into the motion, and he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed. The count is now 1-2 to Tatsumi. Tatsumi getting the nod in center field tonight, as he has been at times the leadoff hitter for the Eagles. Sometimes they drop him right down into the 7-8 spot. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count now goes to 2-2. As we've seen him play, I do like his game. There's a lot to like about Tatsumi. I don't know if he's ever going to get into that top 9 player, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This is grounded into center field for a base hit. And Tatsumi's aboard with a leadoff single here in the 8th inning, and you can pretty much guess what's going to happen next. As Hiroto Kobakata will stride to the plate, and we anticipate a sac bunt is about to happen. So a leadoff single welcomes the right-hander Kitamiya into the ball game. And that brings Kobakata to the plate. As we said before, Kobakata has some very good bat control. And I expect nothing less than a bunt, and he's already squared as he steps into the box. Kobakata gets himself set up. He's waggling the bat, and they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner. So Kobakata, again, digging in, ready to go. So Kobakata, he's right up on top of the plate. And they have the runner or the defender at third base. The third baseman is in on the grass. Shortstop is shaded towards second base. The second baseman is on his way over to first, and they have the pitch delivered. It's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is now 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Kobakata. Lots of things going on right now here. We appreciate it. We got Eris385 checking in as well today, and we're glad you're here. King Rex asks if that's good for the Fighters. I'm not sure what that was. I may have missed that because I'm a little behind on my chat. So 1 ball and no strikes to Kobakata as the right-hander holds to the set position. And they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is Tatsumi. Tatsumi can run a little bit. So he can run, as can Kobakata. So it could be a tough situation to try to double one of these guys up. specifically Kobakata on the back end. So Tatsumi has the lead over there at first base. 1 ball and no strikes to Kobakata. And again, they throw over to first base, and again, diving back is the base runner Tatsumi. Well, if this was in Major League Baseball, they would have exhausted their 2 throws over to first. Our friend Yusuf jumps in here and says, who won the 7th inning? Well, it was 0-0 scoreline, at least for that inning, so nobody scored any runs in the 7th. The ball game is a 3-1 lead here for the Eagles, and there's a pitch, and it misses down and away, and the count is now 2-0. And this is where the game gets interesting. As we said, they had a quality start. Both of the pitchers, starting pitchers tonight, did a very good job. Quality start for Kato. It wouldn't go in the books as one for the right-hander Tanaka, as he went 5+ innings. To get a quality start, you have to go at least 6 and give up 3 earned runs or less. So here comes the 2-0 offering as the right-hander kicks and delivers, and it is bunted, and it's not a good one. It's popped up over on the first base side in foul territory, and it is caught by the catcher, Osami, and that is going to retire Kobakata. So Kobakata can't get the job done, as he is going to be retired for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter, Mikhail Franco. Well, for Franco tonight, he has had himself an outstanding ball game. He's got a triple shy of the cycle. He has singled, he's doubled, and he had a 2-run homer in the 6th inning that has been the difference in this one. So him going to the NPB has started off in grand fashion. He bats from the right side. I remember Franco when he was in the National League. I thought he had a much wider stance, or much more open stance, I should say. And there's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul down the third base line. The count is quickly 0-1. At least that's how I remember him. I think the other one with the Phillies was Abdul Herrera, who was really, really open. He had, I believe, from the left side. But the right-handed hitting Franco has made a very good impression here in the NPB in game number 1. So here comes the 0-1 pitch as the right-hander holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to third. Fielded neatly by the third baseman. Over to second for 1. Back to first. And it's going to be an inning-ending double play. Franco hit the ball hard, but right to the glove of the third baseman, Nomura, who fired over to second for 1. They return it at the back end for a double play, and that is going to do it. Well, there was no runs in the inning for Tohoku. There was 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Your score is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters are trailing the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 3-1. We'll be back with the call at the bottom of the 8th when we return right after this. Appreciate you guys for listening in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change, as it is going to be a right-hander. It's going to be Naoto Nishiguchi coming in. He'll be the third pitcher used here by the the fourth pitcher used here by Tohoku tonight. So Naoto Nishiguchi on in relief of Chihao Sung, who did his job in the 7th inning. So this is going to be setting up an exciting finish. As for those of you who are not around, and it's a new catcher in the ball game too, we have to get the number. It looks like it is going to be Ota that is coming in to doing the defensive stuff here late in the ball game. So Nishiguchi on in relief as pitcher number 4 here in the 8th inning. So now, what do we have coming up to bat for the Fighters? It is going to be the top of the order. So it'll be Go Matsumoto, Daigo Kamikawa Kabata, and Kazunori Ishii. So we're getting into the deep water here of the ball game. And in the 8th and the 9th innings here, as the Fighters are running out of time, they've got 6 outs to try to get these 2 runs back. We were talking about the over-under earlier. I think it was our friend Breathe Deep asked, or I think he said it was 5.5 in this one. Right now you're sitting at the under. If that is still the case, if that was the part here. So here comes the first pitch to Matsumoto. It's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded up the middle. Moving to his left is Yamazaki. He fields it, and he throws to first. And with one pitch, Matsumoto is retired on a ground out 6-3 for the first out of the inning. And that's going to bring up the shortstop, Daigo Kamikawa Kabata. Well, they're going to have to try to get some runs here. I was taking a look here. Apparently, somebody was saying that there was a pool in the Pacific League, hence why they were asking for the runs. BII says FTF rebroadcast games only, nothing live from them. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Yeah, I forget what FTF stands for. Friends of something. And you can catch only Central League teams in a few interleague cases. That's interesting. There's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, it's funny, as our friend Andy was looking at the NPB, that, yeah, there's always some interesting translations in the names. There's a player who plays for the Chibalote Marines. His name is Kakanaka, and there's a fastball taken on the inside corner for a called strike, and the count is 1-2 to Kamikawa Kabata. And Kakanaka stands for in the corner. We laugh about that. Many Waves, I believe, is the outfielder Manami. And so, yeah, we got some interesting stuff. Also, too, Sheldon Noisy for the Hanshin Tigers just comes out as Noisy, Noisy. Here's the 1-2 offering. It is a fastball that just misses up and in, and that's going to run the count to 2-2 to Kamikawa Kabata. BFBII says, interesting that there's only rebroadcast this year. Yeah, it's kind of neat. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander kicks, and he delivers. It is a split-figure pitch swung on it. It's grounded over to second. Fielded by Asamura. He throws to first. That's going to go down as a ground out 4-3, and that's going to be 2 up and 2 away here in the 8th inning. It's going to leave it all up to Kazunori Ishii. Yeah, our friend Ben Roberts says whiff strikeout is pretty good. He's also seen caught stealing translate into stolen base death. Yeah, there's been some interesting English translations on the NPB site, which actually kind of makes it all the more interesting. It get a good chuckle out of stuff. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. When I was in Asakusa a couple of years ago, there was a restaurant bar, and they had signs up for afternoon. They didn't have cocktails. They had it up as cactails. Spelt it a little differently. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. And so even though I kind of got a chuckle out of it, you got to say that they were trying. Actually, that last pitch from the right-hander Nishiguchi was a changeup. It's a rare pitch that you see. It was a pitchfork changeup, so it looked like a four-seam fastball. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it's a fastball that spikes up to the plate, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Friend Andy says he loves the way that they say Newtbar over here now. It's pronounced Nutabar. That's always good fun and good humor. Of course, no real ill will meant to any of that stuff. It's just the enunciations and how it's pronounced. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball that swung on to foul away, and the count is 1-2. Just like when I do these games, I certainly hope that I don't butcher any of the names. I know I do sometimes. I always apologize in advance for that, but we try to do the best we can and try to get better from there. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is to Ishii. Bats here with 2 gone in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the offering now on the way from the right-hander Nishiguchi. It's a swing and a miss. And Ishii goes down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 8 complete innings. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 3 and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 1. Will be back in just a couple moments as we will have yet another pitching change when we return. Appreciate you for being here. It is bullpen time again. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a pitching change, and it looks like it's going to be Masayoshi Tanaka coming into the ball game, a right-hander. We'll have to do a double check on that. One thing I'm not a big fan of on the uniforms, I do like the light blue color that the fighters have and the all whites, but I don't like the gold lettering on the white jersey. It makes it very, very difficult to pick up, and it does look like it is Masayoshi Tanaka who is coming on in relief. Certainly not made for television or maybe even for people in the stands. And my eyes are generally pretty good. But boy, that is a real tough one in which to read. It's almost like the Hiroshima Toyo Carp. I don't know if anybody had saw their jerseys in the exhibition season, but it was red numbers on a red jersey. So it was red on red, made it almost impossible to be able to look at. And so that is the way it is. So we've got ourselves Masayoshi Tanaka on in relief as he is getting his final tune-up tosses. Coming up to bat or scheduled to come to bat for Tohoku is the heart of the batting order. It's going to be Hideo Asamura, Hiroki Shimochi, and Toshiki Abe. So it'll be Tanaka on in relief. Seiji Tanaka it is. We'll be back in just a moment with the call after this. Welcome back, everybody. The first pitch delivered to Hideo Asamura was a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 as we begin the top of the 9th inning. The right-hander Tanaka kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses a bit low, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Seiji Tanaka on in relief here, the right-hander, the 3rd pitcher used by the Fighters tonight as we are in the top of the 9th inning. The right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung through and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. This game has had fairly decent pace to it. As we said, it is the opening night of baseball in Japan as the new stadium at Escon Field is opened in Hokkaido. And there's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. If you get a chance, check out our friend at NPB Reddit. If you're on Twitter, he runs the stuff daily. He is a Swallows fan who lives in the Sapporo region. He does an outstanding job of keeping people up to date on all the goings, comings, and stuff in Japan and Japanese baseball. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on it. Is popped up into shallow center field. Backing up on it is the second baseman. Looks like it was their second baseman there, not Kamikawa Kabata, but it was Ishii who makes the grab. And that is going to do it for Asamura. He pops out to his opposite number for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Hiroki Shimouchi. Well, for Shimouchi tonight, he is 0 for 3. He's grounded to second, grounded to first, and popped to the catcher in his 3 trips to the plate. And Tanaka is ready to go back to work as he's got himself a new ball. He works to the set position, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1-0 to Shimouchi. Shimouchi hitless tonight in 3 trips. Waiting on the offering from the right-hander who kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Just as a reminder, be sure to bookmark our page if you want to come on back for all the action. We'll be back again tomorrow for the Buffaloes and the Lions. The first of 3 games in that series. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow left field. Moving over underneath it and making the grab is Matsumoto, and that is going to retire Shimouchi for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away. That is going to bring up the first baseman, Toshiki Abe. Well, for Abe, he is coming to the plate. He is 1 for 3 tonight. Yeah, usually what happens, and our friend Drew is listening to our stream here, is what a lot of people do is they will try to sync our stream up to or sync our commentary up to the stream itself. And here comes the first pitch. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Abe. That way they can get the English commentary while enjoying watching their game. Sometimes I try to run some different stuff here, and when we experiment, that's when we get things don't go always right. There's a split finger pitch that bounces up to the plate, and the count is 1-1. Yuki Matsui getting loose in the Golden Eagles bullpen as the left-handed closer for Tohoku is ready to come in. He struggled down the stretch last year for Tohoku, and he is always a bit of a roller coaster to watch. He never makes innings easy for himself. So we'll see how he is to start the season. Remember the pitcher for Chiba, the closer for Chiba, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left field. Coming hard is Matsumoto. He dives, and he makes the catch. Boy, I don't know. Did he make that catch or not? But he sure sold it as if he did. He's running off the field, and that looks like that's going to be it. I don't know if they're going to have a look-see at that one. But Matsumoto has made a shoestring grab, and that will retire Abe for the 3rd out of the inning here. We're going to look on the replay again, but boy, that thing looked like he might have bounced or short-hopped them. We're going to get that replay again, and I don't know. That looks like maybe he did make the catch. But that is going to do it. I don't think they're going to go upstairs to have a look, or are they? Yeah, they are. He sold it pretty good. We're going to go and see what the umpires have to say, so we'll stick around here with you before they go. This is going to be challenged. First, our angle, we thought that looked like a short hop, but the way that he came off the field, he sold it out pretty good. And it is going to be a replay. So the play is under review. Wonder how long they'll have to take to make a decision on this one. Hopefully not long. We're getting another look at it again, and I don't know. It still looked like it originally. I thought he may have short hopped them, and then I look at it again on the replay, and maybe it didn't. Hard angles to see. So far, we haven't had a good one. But as we said in the chat, our friend Drew was saying that he had used his stuff to sync up to our stream, and that's what you usually try to do. Is people come in and they listen to our stream and they sync it up, and they're able to get the information that they need and that they want. Here comes the umpires. They're going to make the call, and the call is out. And so the call is going to stand, and that is going to do it, as that is going to go to the bottom of the ninth inning. So the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters are going to be down to their last wraps. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board for Tohoku in their half of the ninth inning. We'll be right back in just a couple. It's going to be Yuki Matsui coming in to try to close it out here for the Golden Eagles in their half of the inning. We'll be right back after this.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Appreciate you, Steve, and your support of the channel, and in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Yuki Matsui taken to the hill. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Yuki Matsui, the left-handed closer, coming in for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. And what do you know, just on cue, our friend Steve Rademacher is in the chat, and he is here joining us tonight. We appreciate you, Steve, for popping in here tonight. Or it'll be early morning in your neck of the woods. It'll be Nomura, Kiyomiya, and Ariel Martinez to come to bat. That means the heart of the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighter batting order to face the left-hander Matsui. Now, we've hung in here pretty good, I think, tonight. We do have a change in right field. It looks like they have a new right fielder as well. As we mentioned, Oda is behind the plate. But we're going to get a look to see who the new right fielder is. We got to pick up that number for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. So defensive change in right field for the Golden Eagles, as Hiroki Shimochi is out of the ballgame. Well, we're ready to resume the action here as Yuki Nomura will step to the plate. They need a base runner to the Fighters. It is Nomura, who is 0 for 2 tonight. He had the sacrifice fly in the 6th inning that has driven in the Fighters' only run of the ball game. The line scores so far 3-9-0 for the Eagles, 1-3-0 for the Fighters. So we're going to see how this is going to shape up here tonight, as Yuki Nomura is waiting here on the offering from the lefty, who works to the set position. Matsui ready to deliver. He kicks and he fires. The first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled straight back. And the count is 0-1. He was right on time with the pitch, was the hitter Nomura. He just got a little underneath it. And he says that he's never found our name. And where do I find the notes of some of that stuff? So you can find out all about our information on our website at lastrapsbaseball.com. And there's a fastball that is swung on and missed. And the About Us section will give you the lead. No balls and 2 strikes to Nomura. But as far as our community page on YouTube, that is where we post up our daily picks. We make our predictions and we post up some information. So when you go to our main page, you can go across and see community, and then we'll post up things on the daily throughout the season. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1-2 to Yuki Nomura. Now, if you're wanting to look for the lineups, that's always been a struggle for the Japanese league, is they never really post the lineups until within an hour before the game. And the best bet is to get it off of the NPB site. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Nomura as Matsui kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul. The count remains at 1-2. There is a pretty good English box score. I haven't posted it up. Sometimes I'll drop it into the chat, but I haven't been using it tonight. In one of the future streams, when I get a chance and get around to it, I will link you guys into the chat as far as where that English box score is so that you can look at all the other games. Because there were no other games going on around the league at this time tonight, I never bothered at my end to pull it up to use it. As there is a breaking ball that is missed down. It's swung on and missed. It is blocked by the catcher, Oda. He throws to first. It's going to retire Nomura on a strikeout, 2-3 for the first out of the inning. Well, the Fighters are getting down to the final outs here. They got 2 outs left to try to get a couple of runs. They need a base runner. And that is going to bring up Kotaro Kiyomiya to the plate. Well, for Kiyomiya tonight, he's got a double in 3 trips. He's also grounded out to first and grounded to second. It'll be Kiyomiya followed by Ariel Martinez. Well, Martinez has the juice in the bat to put the ball into the seats. But he needs a base runner to get on ahead of him. And here comes the first offering from the lefty Matsui. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Kiyomiya batting from the left side against the lefty Matsui. Left-hander against the left-hander. As Matsui works set to the belt, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is now 0-2. So it looks like everything is still in place for the Fighters this year. They didn't really have a lot of bats in the lineup. And the one bat they did have, they flipped them to the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and Kensuke Kondo. So they've only got 3 hits here tonight, and it'll be hits at a premium. So here comes the 3-1 offering as the lefty Matsui works set to the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball, waved at and missed. Blocked by the catcher, Oda. He fires to first, and that is going to retire Kiyomiya the same way Nomura was. A strikeout 2-3 to make that out number 2, and now the Fighters are down to their final out. Well, everybody, we once again, before we leave here tonight, we appreciate listening in. We will do a full recap on this game. We'll give you a little update once this thing is finished. And then we will wrap it up and call it a night when this game is over. But as a reminder, again, tomorrow it'll be the Saito Cebu Lions and the Oryx Buffaloes. We will be on the air at 2 a.m. Pacific, 5 a.m. Eastern. We hope you guys can join us for that one. Looks like we've got Ariel Martinez digging in here. He is 1 for 2 tonight, and he's been hit by a pitch. And the first offering from Matsui is a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul down the right field line. And Matsui's ahead in the count at 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Martinez. Defensively, it's been a pretty well-played ball game here tonight. Not too many flaws for either team. No errors. And they had played the balls that were put into play pretty well. So no balls and 1 strike it is as the lefty works to the set position. And now Matsui kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. Now the count is 0-2, and now the Fighters are down to their final strike. So Matsui ready to try to seal the deal here. So no balls and 2 strikes it is. Golden Eagles are looking to get on track with their first victory of the year as these two regional rivals are battling it out here tonight. And here comes the 0-2 offering as the lefty kicks and delivers, and it's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Martinez, the last hope here for the Fighters in the 9th inning. 1 ball and 2 strikes as Matsui gets his sign. The crowd is starting to thin out at the Sapporo Dome. A little surprising as that is not the norm for the Japanese. So here comes the 1-2 offering as the lefty kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Martinez. Opening day for Major League Baseball is just a few hours away, 4.5 to be exact. So for those of you listening in North America, it's going to be lots of baseball today. As spring is eternal, everything is brand new on the start of a new season in the MLB. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as Martinez is waiting here on the offering for Matsui. Matsui certainly would not do well with the pitch clocks in Major League Baseball. He really takes his time. Here comes the 2-2 as he kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 2-2 to Martinez. Our friend Andy says he's going to be back again, and we appreciate you, Andy, for being here. We do have a bit of a following. We get some regulars that you'll start to see in from time to time, and hopefully you'll be able to join us as well. We aim to do about 100 ball games in the NPB this year, and we'll sprinkle in another 50 to 60 major league games throughout the year. So hopefully you can join us for some of those as well. Usually the West Coast games are the feature at night when we get to those in the summertime. And there's the fastball that misses inside, and that's going to run the count to 3-2 to Martinez. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. It is scheduled to bat is Chusei Manami. We'll see if it does get to him, if he does come to bat. He is in the on-deck circle. He's not had a very good night tonight. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Martinez. Matsui looking to seal the deal here. As the right-hander Martinez wangles the bat. And now Matsui works to the set position. If we were in Major League Baseball, he probably would have been walked by now because the pitch clock would have been violated. And now Matsui lifts slowly, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is belted into shallow center field. Coming in on it is Tatsumi. He's there. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it, as that is going to be the game number 1 in the books for the 2023 season. Your final score is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters falling to the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 3-1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back to wrap this one up and give you the recap in just a couple moments after this message. Here's our friend Matt again.
Good evening, sports fans. I hope you all have been enjoying the game. This is just another message from another Hollis build. I hope that your team is in the lead, but if not, remember, that's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But you know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life, and as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on my team, but I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I hope you enjoy the rest of the game, and if it remains the same, remember, that's life. You want your fill? go check another Hollis build on YouTube. Last Raps Baseball. Let's get back to the game. Let's go! You know that's life. You know it. One love and peace.
Appreciate you there, Matt, and your support of our channel. And in turn, we support Matt Hollis. Be sure to check him out after this one is done. Just a recap on the scoring. The began in the fifth inning on a solo shot from the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. The first run scored in Escon Stadium or Escon Field history. It was Yukiya Ito hitting a solo shot in the fifth inning to open up the scoring 1-0. In the top of the sixth inning, after a Hiroto Kobakata single, it was Mikhail Franco who hit a two-run shot to increase the lead to 3-0. In the bottom of the sixth inning, the Fighters got one back with one out, a leadoff double by Go Matsumoto, and then back-to-back walks to Daigo Kamikawa Kabata and Kazunori Ishii. Yuki Nomura stepped up and hit a sacrifice fly to center field, driving home Matsumoto, cut the lead to 3-1, and that's where it ended. It was 3-9-0 for the Eagles, 1-3-0 for the Fighters, only 3 hits. As we said before, the offensively starved Fighters are going to be difficult to find hits this year. They're going to have to pitch it really well if they're going to want to win some ball games. Masahiro Tanaka goes to 1-0 on the year. The loss is tagged to Takayuki Kato as he drops to 0-1. And Yuki Matsui gets his first save of the 2023 campaign. Once again, everybody, we appreciate you guys for all listening in here tonight. It's been another Last Rouse Baseball video production. We appreciate you all. We'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow. To everybody who listened in here tonight, whether it be Steve Rademacher, BFBII, Andy Altman, we got Ben Roberts, undrafted player. We also had our friend Joe and Cody early on in the night, as well as Drew and King Rex and everybody else, whoever I missed. Thanks again for listening and being part of our stream. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll be back on again tomorrow night. Hopefully you guys can make it in for more action. We'll see you then.